Welcome to Baker's channel where stories unfold, covering trials, dramas untold. Grab your seats, settle in, start the show. Courtroom clashes, the fun we bestow. Baker's channel, action's hot, dramas and fun, all we got. Discuss, debate, break it down. Baker's channel, just the best in town. Lawyers spar, tensions high, sparks fly. We laugh, we learn, dive into the why. Join the chat, have your say, it's your place too. Every twist, we're here for you. Baker's channel, action's hot, draws and fun, all we got. Discuss, debate, break it down. Baker's channel, just the best in town. Day and place, I join the crowd. Baker's channel, we're live and loud.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whoever you are, and what if any you might be. And welcome to this Let's Go Brandon birthday stream. Everyone remember that if Brandon shows up today, to wish him a happy birthday, because it's not the best day in the world to have his birthday on, but it's a weird day today, because we all remember where we were a few years ago when the world got turned upside down. So that's but let's keep it happy for Brandon. No, I just canceled all my flights, all my tickets. I have an inflammation in the muscle head of my big thigh muscle, so I am on painkillers, pain numbing cream, and so no Roma for me this year. And of course, all of the hotels, all of the airplane ticket was non-refundable because I don't never get sick when I go travel. So I'll have to remember to.
Oh my gosh, you guys! There's a class called Basic Grifting. Should we all learn how to be grifters together?
I just have to learn how to grift more so I can pay for all the airfare and hotels that I don't get paid back. But that's life. But next time I'll buy it with a cancellation, because bad things happen now and again. Hey, Skybell and Jesse and Celestial Horse and Helen from Holland and Luna from Texas. Never seen my opening? Well, I play it almost every time. Sometimes it's just with Aqua. What about good Dusk? Well, Dusk. To Dusk somebody is to
may be seated.
Smexualize them. And good we started early because court is starting early.
For President case number 2020 CF 2361, State of Florida versus Laurie Shaver. With the parties present, please identify themselves for the record.
Yes, I won't be going on my vacation, so lost a lot of time with my family. It's a little bit bad when my sister lives so far away, so that's but I'm using some numbing gel. Hey, legal minded lead attorney. What? Who? Well, there's always 5 years from now. It's fine. It's fine. It's one of the, because you can just pay the few $100 extra to get the cancellation fees, and that would be fine. I actually do have it, but they don't cover this because I didn't buy the refundable ticket, so they won't fight for it. It's the first time because I was in the US to get coverage because of the American health system. So, but it's just too much of a hassle. But that's what it is. So, well, I will probably wake up Friday morning fresh as a daisy and think, well, I could have taken that plane. But no. Sometimes you need to listen to your body.
State of Florida, Rich Button of the state.
Captain Wes, on behalf of Laurie Shaver, Seaha.
Ms. Shaver, please state your name and raise your right hand. I'll swear you in.
Laurie Farmer, previously known as Laurie Shaver.
All right. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that any testimony you give today shall be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right. Thank you. Are there any preliminary matters, or are we ready for the jurors?
The only preliminary matter for the state, I do have a courtesy copy for the court regarding the motion about the witness, Johnson. Provided a copy file this morning. We don't need to address the merits of this until the defenses start presenting their case.
Yes, sir.
But I told the court and Mr. Wade yesterday that I'd be filing that this morning. Filed it this morning. If you and Mr. Wade's courtesy copies.
Yeah. Judge, I'll take it up at this time. The state is seeking to exclude Ms. Johnson as the minor's guardian in this case. Judge Singletary has signed an order appointing Ms. Shaver as counsel on behalf of the minor child. Ms. Johnson on behalf of the minor child. She's aware, the state was aware that the child had a guardian appointed. And the concept was, and the understanding is, that somebody's representing the child and somebody would need to appear at the time that she testifies to vouch that her testimony is free and voluntary. We had filed, in addition to that, a motion to appoint a psychological, sociological expert for analysis of the minor child to request payment by the state. We did that requesting that there be evidence to be offered in the court that nobody's tampered with the child, that the child's testimony is free and voluntary. The state objected to that. The state objected to Ms. Johnson even being appointed. Judge Singletary saw fit that Ms. Johnson be appointed in the cause. So the state has all along known that Ms. Johnson is a representative of the child, was likely to be called on behalf of the child, and there's no prejudice that the state has inured to the representation that Ms. Johnson has not formally been listed as a defense witness on the defense witness list. They were on notice the whole time that Ms. Johnson's involved in the case of representing the child. As I advised the state yesterday at the court, that the competency of any minor is always an issue, and somebody has to vouch that the child or the minor's testimony is free and voluntary. That's why we sought the additional appointment of a psychological expert so there'd be all alleviation of any doubt that the testimony is free and voluntary. And I stated to the court as well that Ms. Johnson's testimony would be called for a limited purpose, and that is to advise the court that she's gone over the rights with the minor child. She's spoken with the child, that the child appears the desire to testify free and voluntary, that there's been no coercion, no tampering with the child, and all testimony and interviews have occurred in her presence. So her presence is very limited in this case, all of which the state has been aware from the very beginning.
And when would Ms. Johnson be available for proffer?
She'll be available probably tomorrow. Judge, we told her that we believe that the state's going to rest and she'll be available tomorrow.
All right, that's what the state was suggesting in their motion, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, so what time? Could we have her proffer at 8:30 tomorrow morning?
Sure.
Mr. Wiggs?
That's fine.
All right. We'll continue to court will reserve ruling, and Ms. Johnson will be requested to be here at 8:30 tomorrow morning, where a proffer will be conducted.
I presume the greater motion or the greater purpose of the state.
No, but you can get cremated and spread in over the waters, or you can be buried in the woods. I'm not feeling better, and I just had to cancel all of my planes, trains, and automobiles to Rome. So ain't gonna go on vacation. So sadly for all of you, Marissa won't be doing it tomorrow and Friday. Well, Friday she will, because I will have to go to a massage therapist. But other than that, the voice takes me right back. I don't watch the shows at 2 a.m. in the morning. No. And I know that the Turtle Boy called in. Yes. Hey, Deb. Well, it's the Eternal City, so it's probably going to stay there around for 5 years more. So it's gonna be fine. I have survived worse than that. Yes, I have an upper thigh inflammation, so I need a massage therapist that'll handle my groinial area.
Judges, the state, Johnson met with the state, relaying the information that the child had relayed to her, and seeking to promote the interest of the child, that the state investigate the case and speak with the child. The state was unwilling to investigate or to speak with the minor child at any time. So I believe that's what the shutdown attempt is, but the judges previously approved the order. The state's had full knowledge that she's involved in the case.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, just because Mr. Wiggs has insinuated this on multiple occasions about the state's refusal to talk to her. We deposed her. We subpoenaed her. By way of subpoenaing her, we gave her immunity for her statements, knowing what Mr. Wiggs said she was going to say. So these references that the state refused to talk to this child is patently false. It's on the record that there was a deposition of her where I questioned the witness about what happened in an official setting once the witness, and that happened after the witness was listed by Mr. Wiggs. So saying that the state never talked to her, refused to look into this, refused to do it, it's just false. And there's record activity that shows that that is not true.
What they did, Judge, is late in the game, they spoke to her, way after we originally proffered to the state what she was saying. They just took a defensive position with the minor. They never
Disagree. It'll be fine. Don't worry about me. It's nothing. It's just an inconvenience. I feel more bad for my sister that she has to cancel a plate at the restaurant. And thank you so much, Daniel Gutierrez. Pam Graham, legal minded. Sammy Spills, Margaret Mayhem, not Meghan Markle. Lorraine O'Shaughnessy were the lucky winners of one of the membership. Thank you so much.
took the information that she relayed to them and went with it. The information that we had relayed to the jury in our opening about Mr. Townsend's involvement. They never did a thing with it. So the only thing they did is they took a defensive deposition late in the game.
The court will reserve ruling, and the matter will be addressed tomorrow morning at 8:30.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other matters?
One other matter, Judge. Ms. Felmer brought to my attention, looking at social media, some of the state's witnesses have been on social media, monitoring social media, and those witnesses were Kendall Davidowski, Kendall Windsor, I think her name is now, and Rebecca Filmer. We have screenshots of their communications and that they were looking at it and commenting on it on social media yesterday, long after the rule of sequestration has been invoked. If I need to approach the court, show the court the screenshot.
Have you shown the state? Have you shown the state? Please show the state if you would.
Just that there was no DNA from any of them, and stupid questions from the defense. Other than that, it was just technical evidence. But we are back at someone is online and doing something.
Well, first of all, Kendall Windsor's not testifying.
All right, so that's a non-issue. What about Rebecca Filmer?
I don't see anything where she's made any sort of comments about anything.
All right, take your time.
This is supposed to be 4 hours ago from yesterday, which is right daylight for us, and there's 3 of
When's
them.
the shot for court TV is yesterday?
We can address it when Ms. Felmer testifies.
All right. Then are there any, court will reserve ruling. Are there any other issues?
That's it, Judge.
All right, we'll call the jurors in. Thank you. Please call the jurors in.
Well, you're going to ask her when she takes the stand, and she's going to say, "No, I wasn't on court TV writing. Someone wrote in my name." But today we should have the Pew Pew guy, the brother of her new husband, and more technical evidence. The state believes they can be done by today if they move as fast as yesterday. So,
I see that all of the members of the jury have returned. And a question for all of the jurors. Have you spoken to anyone about the case? Okay. Have you spoken to each other about the case? Okay. Everyone has indicated no to those questions. And have you interacted with any of the attorneys? Okay. Everyone has indicated no. Have you viewed any media concerning the case? Okay. Everyone has indicated no. Have you conducted any research regarding the case? Everyone has indicated no. Thank you very much. Thank you again for your time, attention, and patience today. State, you may proceed.
State called Robert Seaha.
Hey, Emma. I haven't figured out his strategy
Yes,
so
sir.
far. Oh, another sidebar. We didn't even start on No, I really don't think the defense lawyer knows anything. But it's been like this the entire time.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Please state your name for the record.
My name is Robert Seaha.
Spell your full legal name.
Robert, last name Ceja.
And please raise your right hand. I'll swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that any testimony you give today shall be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Yes.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Morning, can you please introduce yourself to the jury?
Good morning. I am Robert Seaha. I am the owner and operator of the equestrian facility on the premises of the location that you guys are all talking about with this case behind.
Yeah, thanks.
Sorry.
We just asked a lot of the questions we got here. When you're talking about you operate that facility, was that a piece of property which was a neighbor to the Shaver residence?
Correct.
And through that, did you meet Laurie Shaver?
Yes.
And do you see her in the courtroom today? Can you identify her by something that she's wearing?
Yes. Right over here in the black blazer.
And which seat is she in?
In the middle.
Okay. Now, did you ever know Michael Shaver?
No.
Had you ever met Travis Filmer?
I have.
Now, when did your business move into that property?
2016, operation started to begin.
Okay. And do you remember what month?
The summer months. Construction phases happened a couple months in the summer months, and then started getting heavily right between the summer to the.
Now, at some point, did you purchase a firearm from Laurie Shaver?
Yes.
And what was the circumstances that happened?
Circumstances where I got a text, would you be interested in a firearm or someone that you know of?
And who was that text from?
Laurie Shaver.
Okay. And did you express potential interest?
Yes.
And can you describe the firearm that you was selling?
Yes, it's a pink 38 special with black handle and a little bit of chrome or gray.
Did you end up purchasing this one?
Yes.
Now, at some point, law enforcement had come on to the property for a couple of days executing a search warrant. Were you aware, or did you ever see that activity?
Yes.
Do you remember when the purchase of that weapon was in relation to that search?
Approximately 3 months, 2 to 3 months beforehand.
Okay. And did you end up purchasing that weapon?
Yes.
Showing you it's been previously been marked as it's an R for identification. Go ahead and just pass. A pair of scissors here. Let's go ahead and open it up with the seal there. Without taking that out or anything like that, do you recognize that firearm?
Yes, I do.
Is that the firearm that you purchased from?
He had horses on her property, and he bought a pink pew-pew. Guys buying pink pew-pews better have a sweet girlfriend they're giving it to. Well, I can't write numbers that big. I only went to school for 11 years, so I don't know numbers that high. We already have one. Pink 38 for those who put fashion first. I hope we do see the pinky. I want to see how female it is.
I want to see it.
Yes.
And the color and other features of it are distinctive to you.
The colors match and very distinctive.
And after that purchase occurred, at some point did law enforcement come to make contact with you and ask about this firearm?
Correct.
And at that time, did you turn this firearm over to law enforcement?
I did.
Your Honor, this time the state removed state's exhibit R into evidence. It states 26.
And we renew our objection. It's not relevant. It's not probative to any material fact in this case. This gun has not been linked to this crime in any form or any manner.
All right, the objection's overruled. States R will be entered into evidence as states number 26.
Thank you. No further questions.
Jamie don't handle no pew-pew that small. She's 50 cal and up.
Oh, am I?
Actually, a great objection, because why do we need to see the pew-pew if it's not directly linked to the unaliving? So
That's true.
I feel that's a good objection, because what case was it when they brought out 3 pew-pews that had nothing to do with anything, just to show they were there?
You are right. Well, I guess I was thinking that one was part of it, but it's not. So then, yeah, what's the point?
Yeah, if it's not the one brandished or anything, just that she gets rid of it. It's not illegal, I believe, in Florida to do a private sale.
I
So,
don't think so. Yeah. Did you? What was that? You just yeeted yourself.
I was trying to edit my audio settings and didn't notice that I pulled myself off, because that's not how to say it. Didn't notice that. With my groin injury, I can't pull myself off. Stop it.
Mr. Wiggs?
Stop it.
Morning, Mr. Seaha. How are you?
Seaha.
Pardon me?
Seaha.
Seaha, okay. Excuse me. When you purchased this gun, no statements were made by Ms. Shaver indicating it had been used in any crime or any ill-motive purpose, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Do you know if Ms. Shaver had ever sold any other items from her residence?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. Now, did there come a time when you contacted Ms. Shaver advising her that you'd seen somebody trespassing on her property?
Correct.
Okay, tell us about that.
Okay. So, as stated,
Relevance.
we have the
Sidebar, please, hold on, sir.
Property at that time or away from the property? Correct.
Well, quick sidebar.
So, sir, you had seen somebody trespassing upon the property, correct?
correct. I wouldn't possibly say just trespass until we're from the horse. I'll get it in perspective. We are 10 acres away. On the other side, I see a human silhouette. I don't know at that time if anyone was supposed to be there or not, but from the current situation of, I believe that Laurie was off the property, no one should be there. At that point, I would assume it would be on the terms of trespassing, but not 100%.
So you knew Laurie was off the property at that time or away from the residence?
Correct.
One moment, please, Judge.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the horse point of view.
No further questions. Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. State?
Just say when did that happen?
I cannot recall.
Was it 2019, 2020, 2021?
It would be in the realm of 2018.
Okay. And so sometime in 2018, but you don't know when.
Springtime, possibly around 2018, if I'm recollecting around there.
And
Which one?
You didn't see this silhouette carrying anything or doing anything?
No, as 10 acres is, depending on where you're at, about 660 feet to 1,000 feet away. It's a little bit harder to see.
And you actually don't even know who this person is.
No clue, nothing.
And you are just assuming that this person was not supposed to be there.
Correct.
Nothing further.
Thank you. Mr. Wiggs? May the witness be released from his subpoena?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you for appearing, sir. You're released from further testimony. Have a good day. Your next witness, please.
St. Paul's Joseph Bray.
Hey, that weird Jim.
Woo, here we go.
Good morning, sir. Please come up to the witness stand. Make yourself comfortable. Let me know when you're ready to proceed.
Yeah. Jamie, by the way, if Brandon slips in here today, remember to congratulate him on his birthday. It's not the best day in the year to have a birthday, but it's his birthday today.
Is it really his birthday today?
Yeah, he's turning 55 years old today, so remember to congratulate him
Oh.
on 55.
55, huh? All right.
Yeah.
Please state and spell your full legal name.
Joseph Lee Bray, JOSEPHLEEBRAY.
Please raise your right hand. I'll swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that any testimony you give today shall be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir, I do.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Can you please introduce yourself to the jury?
My name is Joseph Bray.
Where do you work?
I own JB Guns.
What is JD Guns?
It's a retail sporting goods firearm business.
Where's that located?
It's in Bushnell, Florida.
And have you ever had an occasion to meet Laurie Shaver?
I did. I met her at an audio shop in Lake County.
And when you were there, did you overhear Ms. Shaver discussing with any other individuals potential sale of firearms?
Yes, the owner of the audio shop, she was talking to him about possibly trading guns for maybe audio work.
And as an individual that owns a gun shop, was that of interest to you?
It was. I sat back and waited for her to quit talking to the owner. And once she walked away from the owner, I went up to him and said, if you're not interested in any of this, I would be interested in possibly asking her about purchasing the firearms.
Well, remember what Kierkegaard said. You are only alive if you make choices. So do it. Do it. Do it. I don't know. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. No
Morning.
career advice. But, yeah, it could be fun. Teaching all the kids about... No, I wouldn't do psychology in these days. Wait 5 years till all the trends has gone away. And get in when it's normal again. Hey, Wicked. But she wanted to trade pew-pews for some audio work. I think she has traded a lot of physical goods in her life.
But she was trying to get rid of everything.
No, she needed audio. Jamie, why are you always saying things that's not true?
She really needed audio work. On what, though?
The audio.
What audio?
Stop asking questions.
Fine. I'll zip it.
Yeah. Why didn't she just offer to bang him?
I know, right?
No. And she has the puss, so she could trade it away as long as his name is Ray, so he didn't get confused.
Jay. You say you've been saying Ray for like 3 days.
I said Jay, Jamie. Please listen carefully.
I'm gonna let you just go with Ray.
Ray's better. You can get a lot more guys with that.
Did you ultimately, are you aware whether or not she did in fact sell any of those firearms to the audio shop?
I believe she did trade one firearm to the audio shop owner.
Did you end up purchasing any firearms from her?
I did, yes, sir.
And how many firearms and what was the price that you paid?
I purchased 9 in total from her, and I believe we agreed on $1,000.
And what kind of firearms did you purchase?
There's a little bit of everything. There was a AR-15. There was a few Colt revolvers, older revolvers, Maverick 88 shotgun, an old 410 bolt action shotgun, an old FN 1900.
No. They spend a lot of time in the opening statements talking about, all these weapons and all of these techniques you can use, but we couldn't use it on this bullet. So they don't know the gun, they don't know when, they don't know the trajectory, they don't know anything.
And there was a Marlin Model 60 and I believe a Winchester 94.
And at some point, did you reach out and tell law enforcement about these firearms that you had purchased?
I did, yes, sir. After I saw the news coverage about the missing person, I recognized the house and Ms. Shaver, and I reached out to a friend that worked at Sumter County.
And ultimately, did you relay this information to the Lake County Sheriff's Office?
I did, yes, sir.
Nothing further at this time.
Mr. Wiggs?
Yes, sir. Police court.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Bray? Was there a male with Miss Shaver?
There was, yes, sir.
Yeah, tall man?
Yes.
Dark hair,
I don't remember his hair color. I just remember a taller, in-shape man with her.
kind of thin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How high? Do you remember?
I do not. I just remember he was quite a bit taller than she was.
Yeah. Taller than me?
What's that, sir?
Taller than me?
I would say so.
Was he introduced to you at all?
I don't recall.
Okay. Now, do you happen to know whether or not any of these guns were tested by law enforcement?
As far as I'm aware, they were not.
Okay. Were any of these guns returned to you
What do you mean returned to me?
after law enforcement had done whatever they had to do with them? Did anybody tell you that we don't need these?
I had already sold the guns long before law enforcement
Okay.
found out about them.
So you had sold them,
Yes, sir.
okay, when law enforcement spoke to you. But you recall this mail with Miss Shaver, correct?
I do, yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
State.
Mr. Bray, when did you purchase these guns from Mr.
Like date-wise, I believe it was December 5th to like the 8th, somewhere right in there, because I logged them in my logbook on the 8th of December.
Which year?
15?
Thank you. Nothing further, Judge.
All right, thank you. Mr. Wiggs?
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. All right, sir. You're released from further testimony. Have a good day. Thank you for being here today.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
State calls Travis Filler.
Travis Spiller, that's the brother of her current husband.
All right, good morning. Please come up to the witness stand. Please be seated. Make yourself comfortable. Let me know when you're ready to go.
Did it say Travis Filmer?
Please state and spell your full legal name.
Yes, my name is Travis Filmer, TR.
This
Yeah,
is her
Travis Filmer.
husband.
This is her husband. It's not her brother. I was watching Brandy earlier testifying that, well, not testifying, writing that it would be the brother to begin with.
Oh.
I am calling out Brandy on that one.
No,
You are.
Travis is the
Good news.
husband, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's the guy who is not in the tattoo.
Okay. Well, here he is.
Yeah, and Venus, we know who did the horrendous concrete job. It was Laura and this guy. So Zach and Steven and who else it was yesterday talking about how bad it was. I even think Iris said something about her cousins would be mad. It's this is the guy you have to blame. Dates carrying pew-pews can be a bad sign. It can also be a good sign. Hey, rabbit. Yeah. Guilty of concrete malfeasance.
Jesus.
It is an interesting case because it's kind of weird, but it's just boring because we didn't see all the evidence yesterday.
Yeah.
Bray, VISFILMER.
All right, please raise your right hand. I'll swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that any testimony you give today shall be the truth, whole truth, but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Morning. Please introduce yourself to the jury.
Hi, my name is Travis. I'm Laurie's husband.
And are you a convicted felon?
Correct.
How many times have you been convicted of a felony?
I have 2 charges against me. 2 convictions.
Would it help refresh your recollection of that if I showed you your judgment, sir?
Sure.
So he has more than 2 charges against him.
Do you remember this case?
Yes. Yes.
One felony there?
Yep.
In this case, 2 felonies.
Oh, so when I was 18, that was 2?
So you have a total of 3.
Okay. Yeah.
How criminal do you have to be to not remember how many felonies you've done?
Well, he said he was 18. That's a long time
Jamie, is a felony something you just, oh, I was jaywalking and I was catching a felony?
ago. Well, you know, he probably wanted to see what they knew.
It's not your speeding tickets you get every time you leave your house. It's a felony.
Just trying to be nice.
Well, you shouldn't. You're killing me, Smalls. Hit the like button. Thank you, Toy La Carissa.
Oh boy.
Are you convicted husband? Well, he isn't technically a husband because she was never divorced from the other guy. So, thank you, Emma. Jamie, on any good day, remembers between 40 and 60% of her felonies.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's my own experience. I'd be like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
Oh yeah, the guy who was trying to get the last bedazzled insulated cup. It had to happen. It had to happen.
Sorry.
Hey, Watcher.
You agree with that?
I do.
Now, you said you're Laurie Shaver's husband.
Correct.
Can you identify her, point around in court today?
Lori's right there.
And which seat is she sitting in?
The second.
And how did you meet Ms. Shaver?
I met Miss Filmer at through my brother. He knew her from the gym, and he introduced us at her residence at a get together that he had put together with his now current wife.
And when was that get together?
Late January 2016, I believe.
And why did your brother put together a gathering at her house?
And he said it was something for work, a get together for work.
Were you aware of any time that either your brother or his now wife was living at the Shaver's residence?
At that time, no.
When did they live there?
I think his wife was there. She was there sometime before that, I guess.
Okay, so she was living there before that time frame in 2016.
Correct.
And when did you and Ms. Shaver start dating?
Late May of 2000.
Special K, I have the same problem. We hear about all these guys who run through women like I run through cornfields when I do my Instagram shoots. And it's not the winning types. At least you know I'm stable. I'm just sitting in front of a computer yelling at a screen and have Jamie laugh at me. All these guys out there with fast cast and almost 5 inches.
Almost.
I should have a little Miss Baker too. Who can come and give me sandwiches and yell at me for streaming too much? I'm streaming again. It pays the bills, doesn't it? Well, I need attention. We can watch the Notebooks Sunday. I want to watch the Notebook today. Is that your electrical toothbrush I can hear? Yeah, let's just say that.
So between January and May, what was your relationship at that time?
We didn't have one.
Did you communicate, text, phone, anything like that?
Well, we had a few conversations here and there, but we didn't. I was in a relationship. She made it very clear to me the first night that we met that she was in a relationship. So we didn't communicate.
And at the time that you started dating, had she ever told you what her marital status was?
No, sir.
Had she ever told you that she was single but she had been previously divorced?
She told me that she was in a relationship with a gentleman, but at that time never got into any marital status.
Do you remember giving a deposition in this case?
I do.
Do you remember saying anything different about what her representations of her marital status was at that time?
At the time that we first met?
I was talking about when you started dating her. Did she ever talk about her marital status?
No.
Okay. Do you remember giving that deposition?
I remember having a deposition, correct.
I'm going to go ahead and refer to page 4, line 25, Mr. Williams. Showing you a copy of that deposition. Go ahead and read to yourself line 24 and 25.
Yeah, that didn't happen at that time.
Had she ever told you that she was divorced?
Yes, sir.
All right. What was her ex-husband's name then?
Michael.
And what did she tell you about the whereabouts of her ex-husband at that time?
She just told me that they were divorced and that he wanted nothing to do with the family, did not know where he was, and he was not around.
And had she expressed to you that he left and wasn't having contact with the children?
Correct.
And how long did you date until you moved into her home?
A few months.
Do you remember about when you actually moved in, what month it would have been?
Probably July, late July.
And who all was living at that home at that time?
Laurie, her 2 kids, and Becca.
And Rebecca is?
Rebecca. Yeah.
That would be your brother's girlfriend at the time?
Correct.
Now, and they're now married?
Correct.
How long did Rebecca stay living in that home?
I don't know.
Did she end up moving out around December 31st, 2016?
I have no idea.
Okay. And in December 31st, 2015, did you have some sort of commitment ceremony with Laurie Shaver?
I'm sorry, you just said December 31st, 2015.
Thank you for correcting me. December 31st, 2016.
Yes, sir.
All right. And when you say commitment ceremony, what is that?
Just a commitment to each other under God.
And had you had any discussions about why you wouldn't just...
Isn't that just a marriage? We had a commitment to each other under God. We got married. That's way easier to say. That's why I can't get married again, because I did swear in a church that till death do us part, and I can't legally make sure death do us part before I get married again. So I can only get a civil union. But it's a weird thing to say. Did she turn into flames when God showed up and took care of their legal obligations under God?
get legally married at that point?
Yes, sir.
And why did she tell you that she didn't want to get legally married?
Laurie, when we were talking about marriage in conversation, told me that she did not want to sign.
All right, sidebar, please.
Sidebar. That's number
She didn't
3.
want to sign because she was already married.
Yeah, God's he's a big stickler for.
Why did she tell you she did not want to get legally married?
She told me that due to the extreme trauma and abuse of her previous marriage, she did not want to sign a contract with another man that she felt like gives the man to make her property.
All right. Do you remember giving a deposition where I asked you a very similar question?
Yes, sir.
And at that time you said she didn't want to get married because she had financial issues.
100%.
Okay. So not what you just said.
No.
But
together with what I just.
Well, because he's never, even though he might have been flavoring the marshmallows for the s'mores, he wasn't legally declared dead, so she can't annul the marriage. So she's a bigamist. But now she didn't get legally married, so it's fine. Randy have pictures of them at the wedding ceremony they had in their garden.
Set.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and show you that deposition. I'm just going to go ahead and ask you to reference that section where you're talking about that.
And that's the state advice of the page and line that they're referencing.
Yes, please recite the page and line number. Thank you.
It is page 8, lines 8 through 11. Philip, you had an opportunity to read that?
Yes, sir.
And at that time, you did not say anything about the violence, it was about financial issues.
I did not.
Okay. But now when you're testifying, when your wife is facing murder charges, now your testimony has changed.
She was facing murder charges when we had that deposition.
But your testimony has changed.
It has not.
Okay. Now in September of 2016, did you help pour a cement slab in the backyard of the residence where you are now living?
I did.
And who helped you with that?
Laurie.
Did your brother help you with that as well?
No, sir.
In order to do that, did you go and rent a cement mixer from Home Depot?
I did.
Right. I'm showing you, show the fence. It's been previously marked with safety to the AA. You recognize this receipt?
This is her current husband.
Sure. And is that the receipt for the cement mixer that you rented to help pour this?
Yeah, it looks like one.
All right. Your Honor, this time the state of move states AA into evidence. It states number 27.
Any objection?
No objection.
Without objection, states AA will be moved into evidence of states number 27.
And can you go ahead and just read out when that was rented?
Maybe it was seen as that, but I didn't own anything in my marriage. It was all my suggestions were wrong.
When it was rented?
Yes.
The date says 9/12/2016.
I'm a seaman, baby.
At that commitment ceremony that you referenced in December of 2016, what was Laurie wearing?
A white dress.
And did someone escort her to where you were?
Yes, I'm trying to remember who that was.
Was it your grandfather?
Yes, sir, it was.
Was there basically some sort of official there doing the proceeding?
Correct.
For anyone looking at this would look like a wedding.
100%.
And had you represented to everyone that you were getting married at that time?
No.
Okay. So no one thought that this was a wedding?
No.
I'm going to go ahead and show you state's CC for identification.
All right, let's have a sidebar, please.
Yes, Nonya, this guy has 5 years, 3 felonies. Just like Jamie, he can't really remember. He just knows he has felonies. It's what happens when you're a little criminal. You might pick up 1 or 2 you don't remember. He's the guy who is not legally married to her, but who's had what everyone would see as a wedding. But they caught him now twice in changing his testimony. That's
All right, thank you. As a house.
catch me up. He poured the fire pit, lived there, all unknowing, but is standing by her. Yes, look at him. He's a little manlet. Look at those tiny shoulders. She had him by his puss. Wasn't she dressed in a wedding gown? Yes. She was, as he just stated, everyone who saw it would believe it was a wedding. No, because he wasn't with her at the time of the unaliving. That's the guy at that time was Jay, that Jamie keeps calling Bray, who is tattooed on her fun box. What you could call her boom box, because it got a lot of bass.
No.
Keeping matter, states AA exhibit or item of evidence number 27 is now properly marked for identification purposes as states BB Bravo Bravo and has been entered into evidence as states number 27. All right, please proceed. Thank you.
Showing the witness what has been previously marked as states CC. Do you recognize that photograph?
Yes, sir.
Is that a photograph from this commitment ceremony?
That is.
And is this a true and accurate depiction of the ceremony on that day in December 21st, 2016?
Yes, sir.
At this time, the state moves CC into evidence as the next exhibit.
Any objection?
Okay.
State CC will be entered into evidence as states number 28.
All right, publish.
Yes, sir.
So at the time you were doing this ceremony in this fashion in front of your friends and family, you're saying that you had not represented this as a wedding.
That we told everybody it was a ceremony, correct?
Now, in 2018, law enforcement responds to your home, and eventually skeletal remains are found in your backyard. You remember that?
I do.
And at that time, did you ask Ms. Shaver how that body got back?
I did not.
So this person that you were in this committed relationship with, that had told you that her husband had just left, just had no contact with the kids, there's a body found in the backyard, and you don't ask her a single question.
That's not exactly what happened. Laurie called me on the day that the detective showed up at the house. I was at work. I had just gotten off work, and she called me sobbing, crying, and I asked her what was wrong. She proceeded to tell me that detectives had shown up at the house, and they were asking about Michael. She then told me that they had left. I told her I will be home shortly. I worked real close to where we were living, and I got home, walked in the house. As soon as I walked in the house, a detective knocked on the door. He proceeded to ask me if I knew anything about Michael. I said, no, I've never met him. I couldn't even tell you what he looked like if you showed me a picture, at which detectives did show me a picture. I was like, okay. They just told me, we'll be in touch. And that was that. I walked back in the house. I told Laurie, I said, it looks like something serious is going on. You need to get an attorney.
But specifically, you did not ask her anything about the fact that that body was found from the backyard.
Correct.
Why? I mean,
No, then we would have an immunity deal mentioned. I believe they have to mention that before they start that he has a deal. I'm not sure, but I would believe that.
they did with that one guy. So
Sorry?
when we were watching the Treehouse trial, wasn't that a thing with that one guy that testified?
Yeah,
So
but
I
they
think-
said
I
up
think
front
they can.
they can do whatever they want, but they have to disclose it, I believe.
Yeah,
But,
that's what I mean. Like they talked about it in open court and while he was
Yeah.
testifying. So
Do you remember ever saying that at one point you did ask her about it and she said she had no idea about it?
No, sir.
No. After the body was discovered, did you speak with law enforcement?
I had multiple conversations with law enforcement.
Did you ever make the statement?
Baker's shoulder frame is genetic, I know, but I never thought I'd think a dude needed to work out traps and Dells would help on his look. When you can see the shoulder pad lying on top of his shoulder and then there's a dent down to his traps, yes, heavy shrugs and some carries would probably help this guy out. And when you can see his shoulder pad is sticking at least half a centimeter over his shoulder, there's too much padding and not enough filling.
It is not that he is, the statement relaying from Ms. Shaver that it is not that he is missing, it is that he is no longer walking the face of this earth. Have you ever made that statement to law enforcement?
Thank you for bringing that up because there's a point of clarification. I understand.
Sir, please don't argue. Please answer the question.
Yes, sir. I did not make that statement.
Okay. You never made that statement to law enforcement?
Not exactly as you're saying it, no.
Did you ever make that statement to Robert Prober?
Not as you're saying it, no.
Okay, can we get Turtle Boy, Tom, someone on here who knows what the family trees in Canton? I think he's related to Jen McCabe. Did you make that statement? Nope. But it's in your interview. Yeah, they must have taken it down wrong. Did you make that statement? Nope. Never said it. Never, ever, ever said it. Oh, so they just wrote it wrong. They must have done it. So,
And who is Robert Prober?
He's somebody that I have done work for.
Is he a friend of yours?
No, sir.
Have you known him for a long time?
I have known of him for a long time.
You have no issues with him, though?
I do not.
You are now officially married to Ms. Shaver, correct? Right. When did that occur?
2020.
Do you have any children with her?
I do.
How many?
2.
What are their names?
Erilyn and Samuel.
Has your relationship with your brother and your family changed in any way since you started a relationship with Ms. Shaver?
Not since I started a relationship with her, since this investigation started.
Has there ever been a time where Ms. Shaver used your phone to text your brother?
come on, Jamie. What are you supposed to say?
So happy 55th birthday?
Yeah. Everyone, Brandon's 55th birthday is today, so wish him a happy birthday in chat, everyone.
Or she was acting as if she was you?
Not to my knowledge.
Have you ever told anyone that she did that?
No.
Nothing further, Judge.
Mr. Wiggs?
Yes, please.
Yes.
I think the rule is they can kind of like pleading the fifth, they can plead spousal privilege, so they can't be forced to testify.
Travis, let's pick up with one of the last issues that the state was asking you about some statement. The state was implying you had made some statement possibly that Laurie made about, well, he's not walking this earth, something of that nature. Could you tell us the circumstances of any questioning by law enforcement?
I was told by Jamie it's your 55th birthday today, so I just wanted to be accurate.
Whatever.
I always seen you as a spry chicken. But Jamie said no, he's probably in his late 50s, maybe 55.
Whatever.
So
Why do I listen to you?
happy birthday anyway.
Law enforcement wanted to have an interview with me, and I did not want to speak with them. One of the detectives had told me that if I do not speak with them, I would feel the full force of the United States government. I ended up having a conversation with that detective, and I told him that I was working for Mr. Proper, and that him and I were sitting on the back of my truck at the time, and he asked me what did I think was going on. And I proceeded to tell him that based on law enforcement's response, I didn't think that this was a welfare check. I didn't think that he was walking around anymore.
I see. Now, tell me about, did law enforcement come out to the residence and say they were conducting a welfare check?
I believe so.
Okay, did you confront or speak with law enforcement in the backyard about their presence?
Happy 21st birthday, Brandon. Thank you,
There
Toy.
you go. Happy 21st.
And Brandon been a member for 10 months. Yeah, I could be 21, Jamie.
Could
Well,
be.
technically, if you're 55, you are 21 as well.
Why they were there?
No, the only time I spoke with law enforcement at the property was the day that they were doing their investigation.
Okay. Did law enforcement question you in the yard whether or not you saw anything unusual or anything of that nature?
Oh, during the interview,
Congratulations.
law enforcement asked me if I had ever seen anything unusual, and I pointed a place out in the very back of the yard and said, if I had to point something out, I would say this is, and it was a large mound. It was a large mound of dirt. So I pointed that out. The officer had the property pulled up on his phone, Google Earth, and he proceeded to point me towards the fireplace and asked me if there was anything unusual about the fireplace. I said no. I said the only thing that I've ever seen unusual is this very large amount of dirt in the back of the property. He then directed me back to the fireplace, and he did that a few times. And I just told him, I said, I have no idea what you're talking about.
I see. Okay. So there was a period of time in which this patio was poured, correct?
I'm sorry, say that again?
There was a period of time, as the state referenced, about a mixer being rented, correct? Okay. You and Laurie pouring the patio, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, the state has suggested that this date of death was, I believe, around 9/12/16.
Objection, Your Honor.
Okay.
All right, sidebar, please. There's an objection.
So, another sidebar. Happy birthday to Brandon, no matter age or day. Well, day is correct. He sadly shares, well, not sadly, we are happy we have Brandon here, but sadly, a big incident happened on his 26th birthday.
Why are you looking like that?
Because I was counting in my head. I'm not smart like you, Jamie. I can't count without using my toes.
Oh, I need a calculator at all times.
Yeah, he does look the same skinny type of guy. She likes them a little manlety. Yeah. Don't worry about your passwords. Brandon is the new Valhalla witch. No, today is Brandon's birthday. I remember him from last year on September 11th. We also had a good celebration that day. Well, that's the big problem. Well, the police doesn't think so because they didn't charge him with anything. He was 3 feet under. Probably wouldn't be smelling at that point. So, yeah.
Yeah, because when did she meet him? It was a couple of years, wasn't it?
Well, it's a year later, I believe. Is every objection a sidebar thing? No, sometimes he does speaking objections, but Sometimes he pulls them up there because it's a bigger problem.
All right, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, a specific date was stated on the record. Please disregard that date. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. So law enforcement directs you to this patio, correct?
Yes, sir.
You helped lay the patio, correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you see anything unusual as you laid the patio?
No, when Laurie and I first met, the patio / fireplace that is in question right now, the dirt was already graded out. The form of the fireplace was already there. So there was concrete bags in one of the sheds that was at the property when I met Laurie.
How long had they sat on the property, to your knowledge?
I have no idea.
Were they there several months or what?
After Laurie and I met?
Yeah.
Oh, it was months.
Did there appear to be any hurry to lay a patio?
No, sir. In fact, the only reason why we decided to lay the patio was Isabel, Laurie's oldest daughter, her birthday's in September. So we were going to have a large get-together, a birthday party, and the area around the fire pit was all mud. So we decided, well, the concrete's there in the shed. We're going to go ahead and lay that so people don't have to stand in mud during the celebration.
The mixer that you rented, did you use a credit card or cash?
I don't remember. It could have been either or.
There wasn't any effort to try to conceal your whereabouts, disguise your presence in there, correct?
No.
Anybody substitute their presence for you?
No, sir.
Did you ask anybody other than taking care of this personally?
No, sir.
Okay. Did you see evidence of any crime within the residence the whole time you were there?
Never.
Okay. One moment, please, Judge.
Yes, sir.
That's all I have. Thanks, Judge.
Thank you, sir. Redirect.
Yes, sir.
And may the witness.
He gave me the same thing. I have an inflammation in the muscle head of my inner thigh muscle. So let's celebrate getting old together.
Let's be excused from his subpoena.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you for appearing today. You're excused from further testimony. Have a good day. Okay, your next witness.
So my trip to Rome got canceled. Good morning, Tom. Was it Friday you're flying down to Sarah?
Good morning, sir. Please come up to the witness stand. Please be seated, make yourself comfortable, and let me know when you're ready to proceed. All right, please state and spell your full legal name.
My name is Robert Proper. Robert, R-O-B-E-R-T, Proper, P-R-O-P-E-R.
Please raise your right hand. I'll swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that any testimony you give today shall be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Can you please introduce yourself to the jury?
Robert Bob Proper, live in Groveland. I'm not sure what all you need.
Do you know Travis Fuller?
I do.
And how do you know him?
Through my church, Real Life Christian Church.
And how long
Give her a little extra pump from me.
have you known Mr. Fuller?
Since approximately 2013, 2014, something like that.
And what is your relationship with him?
With a friend.
Raven, why is anyone here? Are we here because God planned it? Is it just a byproduct of the Big Bang? Who knows? Are we really here, or is it just an illusion? Are we in the Matrix, and the Matrix determined that what you really wanted to see is a case about a girl with a tattoo in her fun box while listening to a Danish accented guy talking about his hurt thigh? I don't know. I think that's something it's too early to let's sidebar it in chat. Why are we here? It's not an easy question.
I believe in mentoring and try to work with young men. And he's somebody that I met, and we became friends.
And through that, have you ever met Laurie Shaver?
Yes.
Has there ever been a time frame where you would socialize?
My trip got canceled because I'm old and I have an inflammation in my muscle, so I can't walk. That's why it got canceled. So I'm not ready to sit in a plane and be in Rome where I have to walk a lot. So sadly, everything I had reserved was on non-refundable because I don't never get sick.
It's with Travis Fulmer and Laurie Shaver.
Well, we did have some small group sessions together with other couples. We did financial counseling and some marital type relationship counseling.
And do you have any personal knowledge about when their relationship started or when they moved in together, anything like that?
Not specifically, no.
And has she ever made any representations about what had happened with her prior husband?
That she was divorced and he was gone.
Now, at some point, an investigation starts and law enforcement is on the Shaver property, and the remains of Michael Shaver are found. Did you have any conversations with Travis Fulmer about what was going on at that time?
Not specifically about those actions. My interaction with him was a little bit different than that.
At any point did he tell you any statements about what Laurie said about her husband?
Objection.
Sidebar, please.
Oh boy.
The good thing is we're behind, so we can just speed up all the sidebars.
Mm-hmm.
Why did I put?
It's okay. All right.
Nope, back to sidebar. Oh, we're not going to count that. It's the same sidebar. How many are we up to?
150.
Seven sidebars so far. And we are an hour in.
Did Mr. Fulmer make a statement that he said represented from Laurie Shaver?
Yes.
What was that?
We were discussing Mr. Shaver's disappearance, and he made the statement basically that it wasn't a matter of he was missing; he was no longer walking the earth.
Nothing further, Judge.
Well, he said basically, you didn't. I hate that so much.
Yeah,
He basically said.
When I interpreted it, what he said was, no, what did he say? I heard it as, I married this crazy chick. She pew-pewed her husband in the back of the head and blamed the kid.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's not what he said.
And was that Mr. Fulmer's opinion?
He's the one that told me.
Yeah. He made some statement to you that, well, maybe he's not walking this earth, correct?
He told me that it wasn't a matter of missing; that it was a matter of he wasn't walking the earth.
That was what he speculated.
That was his statement to me.
What he speculated, correct?
His statement to me.
That's your argument.
It was his statement.
Overruled. Please continue.
I'm sorry?
That's what you speculated his thought process was, correct?
No, sir.
Did you get any statement in writing from this man?
I had no need to.
Did you have a counseling session with him?
I'm not a counselor. I'm a friend.
Did you do any counseling?
Not professionally.
Did you do any premarital counseling?
Not professionally.
Okay. Well, I mean, you don't hold a degree.
Correct.
Do you want to officially hold yourself out and do any kind of counseling?
I routinely meet with young men and older men. I'm doing that tonight.
Okay. So you do some counseling and some unofficiated counseling without a degree.
I would call it mentoring.
Mentoring. Okay. That's what you call it. But whatever Travis said to you, it's not documented, correct?
Just my word.
Okay. Just your word. And your word may be different from Mr. Fulmer's, correct?
All I'm doing is repeating what he told me.
Okay. And you recognize that reasonable minds may differ as to what was said or what may be interpreted, correct?
I don't know what you mean by that, but
Okay.
I can.
One person may watch
He's
TV.
actually your argumentative.
No, not. He says he doesn't know.
All right. Overruled. Please proceed.
Don't turn around and yell when the objection is argumentative. No, I'm not. That's argumentative.
The way he goes about it is just so off-putting.
Hey, Snivels, how are you doing?
Like, I kind of get where he's going, where he's like, you're interpreting it.
Yeah.
Because, like, let's just say how the husband said it on the stand and how he's saying that he heard it. like, it could be interpreted in two different ways. He could literally be saying, like he said, well, with everything going on, I don't think he's walking this earth anymore. And he takes it as, oh, he said he's not walking this earth anymore. It's very believable on both sides, you know. But the lawyer is just going at him, like, in a way that's so, like, ugh.
Yeah, and I think it turns off the juries too then.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Brandon. I shall send this as a global thank you for birthday wishes, well wishes, and a down payment for Gil's golf lessons. Also, today is a reminder of many things, but in this forum, it's a reminder to DM Baker a pic and a phone number. No restrictions to ride the Baker train.
Oh, geez, oh, please.
Thank you so much, Brandon. Really hope you're enjoying your trip in the Pacific. If I get any pictures from Zach again with the googly eyes and the top hat, I'm redirecting them. You forgot I have your DMs too, so I'm sending every pic Zach sends me directly to you. I can say I've seen disturbing things from that man. But thank you so much. And I hope that you really are in the middle of the Pacific enjoying your birthday and get the best dinner tonight.
They may watch TV and see something on TV and interpret it a little different than the person seated next to them, correct?
Certainly that can happen.
Right. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Redirect?
Yes.
And may the witness be released from the subpoena?
Yes.
All right, thank you for appearing, sir. You're released from further testimony. Have a good day. Your next witness?
State calls Austin Filmer.
Holston Filmer.
Okay, so this is the brother.
Yes, twin brothers?
Yes, sir. Come on up for a sidebar. Thank you.
Sidebar. Well, I have to look into it now because guess who's getting all the DMs I'm getting?
All right, at this point, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we'll take a comfort break for about 5-10 minutes. And thank you again for your time and attention. Please take the jurors out. Thank you.
Why are they?
I think that's the lady that they have to ask about social media.
Please be seated.
Do you know what we should be doing, Jamie, the next time I come to the US?
What?
We should meet up in Boston and go golfing with Brandon and Tom Gillis.
Oh, I suck, but yeah, it'll be fun. I love golfing.
Yeah, that could be fun.
Get real hammered, go golfing. It's fun.
Well, I can't play golf with my bad back, so I'm thinking I'm riding the electrical car and handle the esky.
Yep.
Sir, I'm going to make a preliminary inquiry. I'll swear you in. Please state and spell your full legal name.
My name is Austin James Filmer, AUSTIN JAMESFILMER.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that any testimony you give today shall be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. And are you married?
Yes, sir.
Who is your wife?
Rebecca Urbanowski.
Okay. And so Rebecca Urbanowski, not Filmer.
Correct. She didn't take my last name.
All right, sir. And
Beta.
have you at any time seen your wife, Rebecca Urbanowski, conducting any research regarding this case?
No, sir.
Okay. Did you see your wife viewing any media concerning this case?
No, sir.
Okay. Have you done any research concerning this case? Have you viewed any media concerning this case?
No, sir.
Has your wife Rebecca spoken to you about conducting any research in the case?
Well, Brandon promised me bail money in Tennessee, so if I can transfer them to Massachusetts, I'll go there.
No, sir.
Has she spoken to you about making any comments on social media about the case?
No, sir.
All right. And the state wish to inquire? Okay, Mr. Wiggs?
Do you know if your wife's been looking at any social media?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you.
All right, is that to the satisfaction of the parties?
Yes, Judge.
All right, then let's take a 5-minute comfort break while the jury's out. And Mr. Filmer, you're welcome to leave the witness stand if you wish. We'll call you back.
Well, my wife took my last name.
I mean, yeah, you don't have to, but I mean, it's just the way it is.
Well, my daughter said to her boyfriend, if we're getting married, I ain't taking your last name because my last name is so special that we're less than 20 people in the world with it. So she's going to keep that one.
Is she gonna hyphenate? You can just hyphenate.
No, he has one of those boring surnames. So away with that. I love the fact that in the middle of her trial, all Laurie is doing is trolling social media to see what people are saying about her and telling the judge. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
But it's so easy to get out and just say, no, I didn't. Nah, I don't know. But is that
I mean,
your
unless
name
she
on
has
court TV?
hardcore facts, you know, that pictures
Yeah.
and stuff that shows, yes, they did this. But it's just a lot of like, they're saying mean stuff about me, Judge. They're talking about me online.
Hobby's mother and sister and Brandy's chat. Yeah, I heard they had been there the other day. Tennessee has good catfish there in Knoxville. I had catfish. I liked it. I really liked it. I thought it was a really good piece of fish I had. I ate it right after I ate deep fried tomatoes. That's nasty. Some fancy cornbread. That was really bad.
You need regular cornbread, just regular
Tish Pelly, I have been in Delaware. One of our YouTube streamers took on his lady's last name. You calling him a beta? Which one? I don't know who to call a beta, but again, if it's cool, if it's because it's not just a Smith, I can buy it. But trying to get off on technical. What is Brandy's connection to this again? Her college roommate was friends with Laurie Shaver and have been at the fire pit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Actually, she can't pass it on to other kids or her new husband because it's a protected name. So I never had Scrabble, no. I had well, I didn't do it, but my kids had what's those nasty things the expert always eat that you heat up in the toaster?
Pop-Tarts?
Don't take your time.
Those aren't nasty. They're good.
It's just sugar. Well, we are the happiest or the second happiest, according to any all of those they do every year. We are always fighting for number one with Finland, but Denmark is also the population on the earth with the highest use of antidepressants. So we are really happy and really depressed. I haven't looked, Zach, because I know you're doing something bad.
Mm-hmm.
He sends me his massive wood. Thank you, Zach. I'm gonna forward that to Brandon. And Mary Murphy, member for 5 months. Happy birthday, Brandon. I love this place. Just a strudel all day.
Thank you, Mary.
Bad Love reaches peanut butter cups to... Bad Love Reese's peanut butter cups to Halloween. I'm not a fan of peanut butter.
Oh my God, stop it. Reese's are amazing.
At Brandon's Country Cup, they would do a cross-country style scramble. You're hitting balls over the clubhouse
Please be seated.
into a floating island in
I
the
see
pool.
that all the
Unlimited
members of the jury
everything.
have returned. Thank you again for your time and attention today. Mr. Filmer, please state your full legal name.
My name is Austin James Filmer.
Okay, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that any testimony you give today shall be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Please introduce yourself to the jury.
My name's Austin Filmer.
Do you know Travis Filmer?
I do.
How do you know him?
He's my brother.
And are you older or younger?
We're twins.
So are you older or younger?
I'm 4 minutes older.
All right. Do you know Laurie Shaver?
I do.
And how do you know her?
She's married to my brother.
You see her in the courtroom, and can you point her out?
I do. She's sitting right there. Blonde hair, black jacket, polka dotted blouse.
Now, when did you first meet the defendant?
It was actually at my place of employment, December 2015, I believe.
And where do you work?
I work at a fitness center in Claremont.
At the time, what was that fitness center called?
I was Gold's Gym at the time.
And has it changed ownership?
Not ownership, but names.
Okay, what is its current name?
Fitness CF.
Now, how did you meet her through, well, let me ask you this. Are you married?
I am, yes.
And what's your wife's name?
Rebecca Urbanowski.
Did she also work at that same facility at that time frame?
Yes, sir, she did.
And what circumstances did you meet Laurie Shaver?
My position at the time was to do an initial consultation for anyone joining the gym. So she was scheduled to do the first consultation with me, and I conducted the evaluation. Yeah.
And approximately when was this?
December 2015.
And through that meeting, did your now wife end up becoming involved with Ms. Shaver?
Yes.
And under what capacity was that?
So again, my job was to do a fitness evaluation and then place the potential client with a personal trainer. And my wife was a personal trainer at the time.
And did they start basically working together as a client-trainer relationship?
Yes, sir.
Did they end up becoming friends?
Yes.
And at a certain point, did Rebecca move into Laurie's home?
Yes.
When was that?
Not long after, a month or two, maybe. Yeah, not long after.
So sometime early in 2016?
Yes, sir, correct.
Now, at any point did you live at that residence?
Not per address, but I was there a lot, and I spent a lot of time there.
Okay. And that was because your girlfriend at the time was living there?
Yep, correct.
And how long was Rebecca living at the Shaver residence?
At least 6 months, at least.
At some point, was there something that you believe to be a wedding in December of 2016?
Yes, sir, correct.
Did Rebecca stay living at the home until that time?
Yes.
Now, how did Travis and Laurie end up getting together?
Through my wife and I. Well, she wasn't my wife at the time, but through my girlfriend and I at the time. My brother and I spent time together. We were together. They were friends and roommates. So we had an outing or two where they were introduced.
And did there come to be a period of time where your brother and Ms. Shaver started dating?
Yes, sir.
And when did that start?
Let's see. Becca was there February. So I have to say maybe April, maybe.
And now we're talking 2016?
Yes, sir.
And during the time frame that your now wife was living over there, was there ever a time that you were over helping pouring a cement slab in and around the fire pit?
Yes, sir.
And tell me about how that came to be.
Sure. My brother contacted me asking me to help him pour concrete around an existing fire pit, I should say. He stated that Laurie wanted concrete poured around the fire pit itself. And I told him, sure, I'd help him out.
Have you ever poured a cement slab?
No, sir.
Had your brother ever poured?
Not to my knowledge.
Did you guys have difficulties in pouring them?
Yes, sir, we did.
Now, after the body was found underneath that slab, did you ever have any conversations with Laurie or your brother about that?
Not to a large extent.
Okay. And I'm just asking if you had the conversations. Now, up until that point, had Laurie ever said anything about the whereabouts of her husband, of her previous husband?
Not to me directly.
Okay. Were you ever present when Travis was talking to detectives about things Laurie had said about the body underneath that slab?
Yes, sir, I was.
And what did you hear him say to the detectives about her husband and the body being under that slab?
Objection. Hearsay.
Sidebar, please.
Right. Where everyone knows your name. You could sneak it back in as a middle name. You hate that you like him. You cannot help who you fall in love with. Love's an illusion. Listening to defense redirect present husband. Cops questioning about fire pit. Everyone knows maybe not. County takes yearly photos of county by air.
What did you hear your brother say to the detectives about that?
So the conversation from the detectives was a conversation that my brother had with another gentleman, and they asked him details of Michael's whereabouts, if he's known anything about their whereabouts. And his reply was something along the lines of, he's no longer walking the earth.
Now, since Laurie became involved with your brother, has your relationship with him changed?
Extremely.
And how so?
For the negative.
And do you have as much contact with him?
This is not good for her, because this show it's a reoccurring thing, because Michael's family said the exact same thing. When he became close to her, they lost contact.
Yeah.
Not nearly as much as we used to.
Are you able to visit him as much?
No, I cannot go over there.
And has there ever been a time that you received text messages from your brother that you thought were unusual?
Yes, sir.
And why did they seem unusual to you?
I know the language that my brother and I use when we're speaking to each other. We say things like bro and dude. I have received texts where that language was completely changed. It was more of a direct language than anything. Yeah.
And have you ever asked him about those messages and whether or not he sent them?
Yes, sir.
And what did he tell you about that?
He told me it was not him and that I was blocked on his phone.
Has he ever made any statements about Laurie making those texts to you?
He has told me that she blocked me on his phone, yes.
But as far as the text messages that were unusual.
Why is he letting her block him? Oh, jeez, oh, Pete.
Because did you see the shoulders? It's generic in that family. You can see the same slump shoulders on this guy. She gets the manlet type. She goes after a certain kind of guys who let her railroad them. And
well, that's your brother, and doesn't
no,
sound
that's
like
not
anything.
That's his brother. Not his.
No,
her
I'm
brother.
talking about Travis. Travis is your brother, and you're letting
Oh,
like
your brother. Okay.
yeah, like doesn't sound like anything ever really happened, and he's just blocking him from the phone and stuff like that, like and letting her do that. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, that's what his mom and sister are saying. His mom doesn't even get to see the kids. No, and Michael's family has tried to sue to get to see their grandkids.
Yeah.
So she's, yeah, like Sarah Boone and Jorge. Yes. They'll poison your relationship to your family, because if you don't have your family to lean on, you can be abused even more.
All right. Sidebar, please.
Oh, sidebar. Another sidebar. We are at 9 sidebars so far.
Mm-hmm.
What? Who calls what? Yeah, or giving them a way out to say, she's really treating me badly. Well, maybe you should get out of there.
Oh yeah.
No, maybe. We don't know.
What?
Crazy in the head, crazy in the bed. Well, we know her fun box is a little crazy.
Yes.
Tom Gillis will be doing the round.
Filmer, the specific text messages I'm referring to are the ones that you thought were unusual and were out of character for
They are, but if it's something that takes a little longer, he calls sidebars.
your brother. Have you ever asked him about the source of those texts?
Yes, sir.
And what did he tell you?
That Laurie was the one that sent those texts.
Okay. Now, the December 31st, 2016, did you attend a wedding ceremony at the Shaver residence?
Yes, sir.
And who was that between?
My brother and Laurie.
And had they represented that ceremony as anything but a wedding to you?
No, sir.
Nothing further, Judge.
Mr. Wiggs?
You're talking about an email you received, correct?
An email?
Yeah, or text.
A text, yes.
Oh,
Okay.
not
So
emails.
you get a text on one day. Your brother denies he sent it, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. You never witnessed a homicide in this case, correct?
No, sir.
Okay. You were not present to testify, hear about any event of violence that may have occurred, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All you're saying is you got an email on one day and your brother tells you Laurie sent it, correct?
Per the questions that were asked, yes.
Thank you.
Redirect?
No, sir.
I may the witness be excused from his subpoena.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for appearing today, sir. You're excused from further testimony. Have a good day. All right, your next witness.
The state calls Wilma Nicholas.
Well, this is a good Christian channel, so I don't use that kind of profane language. On this channel, I have been told by Jamie I can use the fun box, Las Lalas,
Good morning.
the tuna,
Please come up to the witness stand.
No.
and
Please
the puss puss.
make yourself comfortable and let me know when you're ready to proceed.
That she has she distanced her family or her husband from the family.
That's pretty much what we're
All
seeing.
right, please state and spell your full legal name.
These people are getting weird text messages.
NWILMANICHOLLAS.
And please raise your right hand. I'll swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that any testimony you give today shall be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. Please be seated. Please proceed.
Morning. Can you please introduce yourself to the jury?
My name is Wilma Nicholas. Yes,
How did you know him?
he was my neighbor.
And when you say he was your neighbor, where were you living?
Sandy Pines Road in Claremont.
Is ultimately, when you're referring to being a neighbor to the residence where his body was eventually found?
Yes,
As the neighbor, did you also know Laurie Shaver?
yes.
You see her in the courtroom, and can you identify her by something that she's wearing?
She's sitting over at the defendant table wearing a black blazer.
Okay. Now, how long did you live next door to the Shavers?
The entire time that they lived there.
So you were there first?
Yes.
I can't call it a daisy. That's the nickname for our previous queen.
When did they first move in?
In 2014.
And what kind of neighborhood is that?
It's rural, country, farm.
Now, I'm going to go ahead and show photograph number 1 from State's Exhibit 15. Do you recognize this property?
Yes.
Okay. And
Don't you try and back out, Baker. We are doing a round of golf with Tom. Light refreshments start at 8. We just need a 4th and 2 hip replacements. Jamie will be our 4th. And,
God.
she will carry us home when we're drunk.
I want to get drunk too.
Oh. Tom will be
So,
riding the car. He doesn't drink.
We're all screwed.
Yeah, we got that yesterday, Steven Zabolski, the insurance guy from Groundhog Day.
what property is this?
That's the Shaver property.
Can you just step down and point without touching on the screen where your property is in relation to that?
Sure. This is my house. This was a tack room, carport, garage, and a barn.
And what kind of, is there any sort of fence or anything like that between the two properties?
It's a cattle fence that's just wire.
Okay, so it's nothing that would prevent you from seeing anything?
No.
All right, go ahead and have a seat, thank you. Now, would you ever socialize with them?
Yes, in the beginning we did.
And was there a period of time in 2014 that Michael Shaver moved out of them?
Several periods of time.
And did he return? When did he return to live back in the home?
Well, he was gone periodically whenever there would be a dispute. She would have him leave and then she would bring him back. So it was multiple times.
All right. When was the last time that he returned to the home before he went missing?
It was 2015 in the summer.
Now, did you see, as a neighbor or any of the times that you socialized, Michael interacting with his children?
Yes, sometimes, yeah.
When you would see it, how was he with his kids?
Very loving, patient, calm.
Did you ever see him do anything for the kids in the backyard?
Yes.
What types of things did you see?
Well, he built a barn. He built a chicken coop, I think a bunny hutch. He was working on a duck pond.
About the duck pond. When, first of all, when did that construction start?
It was in the summer, I believe, of 2015.
And when we were talking about putting in a duck pond, what type of work had been done on that?
He had dug an area. It wasn't very deep. He was pretty meticulous too with everything that he did there. So it was very neat and tidy.
Can I ask you to step down on that picture again and show the jury the area where that duck pond was going to be?
You must have a quality post up and going.
Right here.
Okay. Now, eventually, was that hole filled in? Was the hole that the duck, was there a period of time where it changed from a hole of the duck pond to something else?
Yes.
And what was that?
There was a cement pad. I believe it was 2 layers, and then they had some landscape brick around there, and they had a fire pit.
Okay, thank you. Now, Have you seen or spoken to Michael Shaver since November of 2015?
No, I have not.
And when did you first notice that the hole and, well, that the area that was going to be a duck pond had been filled in and a fire pit was put in?
It would have been around in the spring of 2016, maybe early part of the year.
Now, between the time frame in November of 2015, where you last saw or spoke with Michael Shaver, and when you noticed that that fire pit started being put in, did you smell anything unusual in the proximity of your home, the neighborhood, things of that nature?
Yes.
And in this rural setting, are there time frames where there are dead animals, cattle, horses, things of that nature?
Once in a while, my neighbor behind me had cattle, and probably in 2007, 6, 7, a cow died on her pasture. She didn't bury it; she just left it there. So whenever the wind blew up to my house, it was horrible, it was disgusting. So I was very familiar with that smell.
Very distinctive smell.
You don't forget it.
Now, in that time frame between November of 2015 and when the fire pit started being installed, was there a time frame that you smelled that distinctive smell again?
Yes, I did.
Now, based on your prior experiences in the neighborhood with the livestock and cattle, did that cause an immediate concern to you?
Yes, actually my son and I were on the back porch and we were talking, and I had been smelling it, but he had just come and he wrinkled his nose and said, "Do you smell that?" And I said, "Yeah."
But nothing rose to the level of you felt that you needed to call law enforcement because of the other livestock or anything like that?
No.
All right. Now, at some point, did that area that was being used as a fire pit have a cement slab put in?
Yes.
And you remember when that was?
It was around in 2016. I believe there's 2 layers of cement that was done. The first one, I think, was in the beginning of the year, springtime. And then later on in the year, during the summer, I know it was an area that they actually launched fireworks off of during the 4th of July. So I believe it was covered by then.
Nothing further, Judge.
Mr. Wiggs?
Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
Have you testified that you had smelled a dead cow in that area, correct?
Many years ago, yes.
Okay. And the Shavers also had pigs, correct?
Not at that time.
Well, tell me what time it was.
Pigs came in probably later in 2016, I think.
Okay.
I think there was one potbelly pig that was in and out of the house, and I'm not sure exactly when that arrived.
Okay. Now, you never had dinner with the Shavers, did you?
Yes. Not dinner. Yeah, we did.
You sat down?
Yes.
How frequently would you go over there?
I didn't go to their house to have dinner. We had invited them over to our place it was an Easter barbecue cookout, and I'd made Easter baskets for the 2 kids and my grandson, and they went and hunted eggs that day.
You never had dinner at the Shaver residence?
Not inside the house, no.
In fact, looking at this photo, this is your house, correct?
Correct.
And there's not a clear line of sight between your house and this fire pit, is there?
Yes, there is.
There's a clear line of sight?
Yes.
You can look at that and see a clear line of sight?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you don't go to the Shaver residence, correct?
Yeah, I've been to it several
Did you
times.
sit down with Miss Shaver on occasion, have tea, sit there and talk to her?
Not having tea, but I do recall I did go one time and sat and had quite a lengthy conversation with her.
Was that complaining about the pigs?
No.
You ever complained to Miss Shaver about any of the animals?
No, not to her, no.
Did they ever kill a pig over there?
I don't know. They had animals that died frequently over there.
Okay, so they had animals on the property.
Mhm.
They had some pigs, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And there was a neighbor behind y'all with horses, correct?
They came in 2016 and started a horse farm back there.
Okay, so we had horses in the area, a lady with the cow that died. We had the Shavers next door with some pigs, correct?
There were not pigs there at the time.
Okay, okay. So, do you know the date of death of Michael Shaver?
No.
Okay.
Why is he talking like this, Jamie? It's really annoying to
It's,
listen
I
to.
know, I was thinking the same thing because I'm like, he's trying to try to have that tone, but it's just so, ugh. This man
But
is so
Jamie,
stupid.
it's probably just a pig that you smelled.
It's
Do you
just
slaughter?
Go ahead.
Do you slaughter a pig and just let it rot out in the sun?
I don't know. I've never done any of that before. I don't know how this all works, but I don't think so.
Let's ask Danny T because she's a farming girl. If you slaughter a pig, do you just say, "Well, that's Miss Piggy. Let her rot in the yard for 5 days or 10 days or until she's gone"?
Never know.
Or do you go and say, "Oh, that's Miss Piggy. Yum yum, bacon"?
Ugh. Don't ruin
Of
bacon
course
for
you did,
me.
Zach. Yeah, it's such an annoying voice. Yeah, he
Yeah.
seems really condescending.
Well, and he keeps telling her, or she keeps saying, they didn't have pigs at that time. Oh, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Guy, do you
it's
know
like,
when he passed away? Like,
who ate the chocolate, Jamie? Was it you?
Okay. So when you say at the time, you don't know when Michael Shaver died, do you?
I do know there was a period of time in 2015 and there weren't pigs there at that time.
They have any rabbits or other animals?
They did have rabbits, and I believe that came a little later.
Okay. And you said this was, when did you detect, or when was the patio put in?
I believe some cement was poured sometime around in the spring of 2016. I did not see it being poured.
So you never saw it pour. We see there's not really a clear line of sight from your house, correct?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
Since forever, rotting carcasses of anything spreads disease. So if you just, yeah, I know she said a neighbor had let something die in her yard many years ago, but that's someone who should just be met with a frying pan to the skull, because you don't do that, because it's a health risk. It brings in predators. And again, even though cows are our food, treat them with a little bit of dignity. Stroke them behind the ears before you use the pew-pew.
One moment.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I could just go get it.
That's all I have. Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. Redirect.
Nicholas?
Yes.
Can you explain to the jury why you're saying you have a clear line of sight over it?
Well, in the back, on the back side of my house, I had a really large deck porch, and from
had a
there
large
I
deck?
could see directly over. Also, as I mentioned, it was a carport, which was completely open all the way through.
I'll go ahead and show photograph number 4 from Steve's exhibit, number 15. Can you just kind of show the jury the areas that you're talking about. Yes, go ahead and set that.
Words left he
Okay,
never heard in
this
his life.
You can even see right here, it's open. You can see the front end of a car. That was open. This was probably 10 feet wide. And I was always over in this area because I did have horses.
A blonde version
I did
of
have a barn
Brutus the
right here.
Barber.
It was an open barn. It was a pole barn.
You guys and your wrestling.
It was just a roof, basically. And so when I would come over and feed the horses here, I could see everything that
That's why you don't have a
happened
big deck.
And I'll go back to photograph number 1 from Stacy.
I don't know what the difference is between the deck and
Does
the
this
patio.
photo, the area over on the left side, show your total property area, or is that?
No, just half of it.
Okay, so you just demonstrate to the jury the rest of where your property would be on there.
Well, this is my property starting down here all the way, and then it was a whole 5 acres, and then it was further on over that way. The whole was only enclosed by cattle fence.
Nothing further, Judge.
Thank further, Judge.
All right, thank you. May the witness be excused from her subpoena?
No, she's subject to recall and rebuttal.
All right. And,
Oh, so that's
thank
the
you
one
for
they want to bring
testifying
back.
here today. Please remain at the courthouse. Would you like the witness to remain at the courthouse or no?
We will tell her she needs to come back.
All right, please be available for recall. Thank you. Have a good day. Your next witness.
I bet Wicks wishes he
Please
had
come up to the witness stand.
some of that hair.
You
Yeah.
can seated, make yourself comfortable, and let me know when you're ready to proceed.
Yeah, I'm wondering, like Marissa said,
Please
he's
state and spell your full legal
just
name for the
going by what she
Megan
said.
Cleek. First is
I know. Well, that's what it sounds like.
Megan. Last is Cleek.
Thank you. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that any testimony you give today shall be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Can you please introduce yourself to the jury again?
My name is Megan Cleek.
Where do you work now?
I currently reside in California. I'm working for the University of Maryland Global Campus.
What do you do for them?
I'm a student advisor.
Where did you work before that?
Before that, I worked with the Maryland State Police as a member of the firearm section of their crime laboratory.
What did you do for their crime lab?
The position of a firearms examiner within a crime laboratory is responsible for the receipt, evaluation, examination of evidence specific to firearms examination, drawing conclusions
But you
based on those
couldn't draw any
examinations,
conclusions. Get off the
documenting
stand, see you
via
later.
report, and testifying in court as necessary.
How long did you do that job before, Maryland?
I was with the state of Maryland for about 1.5 years.
Prior to that, where'd you work?
Prior to that, with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement in a very similar capacity.
Can you describe for the jury your training and experience that allows you to do the job you did both for Florida Department of Law Enforcement and for Maryland State Police?
I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice from Michigan State University. I'm also a graduate of the National Firearms Examiner Academy, which is hosted by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. I also participated in formalized training programs with the Oakland County Sheriff's Office and the Virginia Department of Forensic Science.
How long have you been in the field of firearms analysis?
Approximately 15 years.
Did you also go through continuing education requirements while you were at the Department of Law Enforcement?
Yes, I did.
Can you estimate about how many examinations you have done on firearms?
Thousands of examinations on firearms.
Have you been asked in many of those examinations?
But we know that nothing was found in this case. Sorry. I just got this from Brandy. This is Miss Wilma's view of the house. So she had a direct line of sight to the residence. This is Shaver's house.
Where was
So,
the stuff at?
The stuff,
Yeah,
the
like
things and the McGuffin gardens.
where was he supposed to be at? Do we know?
Jamie, I don't do my homework. Just put things on
Okay.
screen.
Hey,
It's just to
Whatever.
show that she had a clear view to the Shaver residence, because they implied that she didn't.
I mean, it's a good view. I was just curious where he was.
Yeah.
supposed to be at.
But you put me on the blast for stuff you don't know. I don't.
Sorry, I thought you did.
Little D is probably going to go out there and get some pictures of the place if she has a day off.
Probably most, to examine a firearm and determine whether or not a fired projectile or a spent shell casing is connected to that firearm or is fired from a firearm.
Yes, that is correct.
Oh.
For those viewers who are not familiar with firearms at all, can you first kind of explain to the jury what is involved in that type of an analysis?
The purpose of firearms identification is the examination of fired ammunition components,
gonna
most often
speed
bullets
this
and
up
cartridge
because
cases,
it's
for the purpose of
box
determining whether or
science.
not they were fired in or from a specific firearm.
She
That's made
can't
possible
do
by the
it
design of the firearm
if
and the manufacturing
you
process,
believe in it.
and the marks that are left on
Never
bullets and
tell
cartridge cases
wrong,
as a
or
result
he
of the
will
firing
yell
process.
at you.
What does the term class characteristics mean in firearms?
Class characteristics are the features of a firearm that are determined prior to its manufacturing process. Those features have the potential to be transferred to the fired cartridge cases and bullets that are fired in or
And
from the
we
firearm.
know in this
So those
case
come from the
they didn't
manufacturer,
find any markings.
A variety of the same type of gun, same caliber, will have the same class characteristics.
Yes, that is correct.
What's meant by the term individual characteristic?
Individual characteristics are the features of a firearm that are not determined prior to the manufacture. They're incidental to the manufacturing process or the result of use, abuse, and wear of that firearm. Those characteristics also have the potential to be transferred to a fired bullet or cartridge case during the firing process.
Again, for those who are not familiar with firearms, can you explain to the jury how a firearm works, and specifically addressing the difference between a revolver and semi-automatic as well?
There are multiple steps in the process of a firearm being fired. One would be to load the cartridges, the unfired ammunition components, into the firearm. The second would be to cock the firearm. That is preparing the firearm to be fired. The third is to release that cocking mechanism. This strikes the head of a cartridge case where the primer is located. That primer creates an explosion when struck. The explosion ignites the propellant, or the gunpowder that is inside of that cartridge. That propellant burns very quickly and creates a large amount of gas. That gas forces the bullet out the muzzle end of the firearm. In turn, this can also, at times, cock the firearm, readying it to be fired again. The primary difference between a revolver and a semi-automatic firearm in this case is that the ammunition components, the bullet and the cartridge case, have a different experience during the process. In both, the bullet exits the muzzle of the firearm during the firing process. In a semi-automatic firearm, a cartridge case would be extracted and ejected from the firearm during the firing process. In a revolver, that fired cartridge case would remain inside the firearm until manually removed by the user.
Are there different sizes of ammunition that fit in different firearms, also as calibers?
Yes, you know that.
Yes, the caliber can refer to either the nominal or the true measurement of a bullet. That is the measurement of the bullet that fits down the barrel of a firearm.
During the course of your career as a firearms analyst, have you been permitted to give opinion testimony in the area of firearms analysis?
Yes, I have given opinion testimony in local, state, and federal courts.
About how many times?
Approximately 50.
So, Your Honor, I would request that this witness be permitted to provide opinion testimony in the area of firearms analysis.
Any objection? Without objection, the request is granted.
We provided some evidence in this case of State of Florida versus Laurie Shaver, Lake County Sheriff's Office case 180025431.
Yes, I was.
Specifically, where you provided a firearm,
Yes, I was.
we provided a fired projectile.
Yes.
And so we're using the same terminology, and my terminology is actually correct. Is a bullet also known as a projectile?
That is correct.
Is a cartridge also known as a live round?
That is correct.
Showing you some introduced as State's Exhibit 26. Do you recognize that item?
Yes, I do.
How do you recognize it?
Both the container and the item are marked with a unique laboratory number, an item number, and my initials.
Is that firearm currently unloaded?
It is.
Is there actually a protective device inserted in the barrel of it to make sure it can't be used?
There is a zip tie through the cylinder that prevents it from being locked into the firearm. Yes.
Can you describe to the jury, and if you could show it to the jury as you're describing it, describe the firearm?
This is 138 special caliber Cobra Enterprises model Shadow 5-shot revolver.
Did you examine that firearm?
Yes, I did.
Is that firearm considered a single or double action firearm?
This is a double action only firearm.
Can you explain to the jury what that means?
Pulling the trigger of this firearm causes both the cocking and releasing of the hammer, which is responsible for striking the primer of a cartridge that's in the cylinder.
How is that different than a single action firearm?
In a single action firearm, the cocking of the firearm, the process that prepares it to be fired, is a separate process from pulling the trigger. It's resultant of either manually pulling a slide to the rear or from the shot before causing the firearm to be cocked.
Does it require more effort to fire a double action firearm?
It does require a longer or more aggressive trigger pull, as it requires both the cocking of the hammer and the releasing of the firing mechanism.
And what's meant by the term trigger pull?
Trigger pull would be the weight that is required to pull the trigger fully to the rear, cocking and releasing the firing mechanism.
When you examined this firearm, did you perform any kind of a trigger pull analysis?
I did not.
At the time, did Florida Department of Law Enforcement do that type of testing?
It would not have been required on this particular examination.
Okay. What did you do with that firearm to begin your examination of it?
The first step in the process of examining a firearm is to evaluate its design and its function. This is for safety purposes. So I documented the make, the model, the caliber of the firearm. I also documented how it would function.
What were your results of that?
That's where I determined, again, that this is a Cobra Enterprises firearm. It's a model Shadow. It's a double action only function. It has a cylinder that holds 5 cartridges. And I apologize, that's it.
Did you test fire it?
I did, yes.
What's your purpose in actually firing the gun?
The purpose of firing the firearm in the laboratory is, 1, to determine its function. The second is to create known test fires. These are known exemplars, bullets and cartridge cases that I know, because I processed the firearm, to have been fired in and from this specific firearm.
Did the firearm function as it should when you fired it?
Yes, it did.
And I'm assuming when you fired the gun and retrieved those test fires, you fired into like a water canister of some sort?
Yes, it's a large tank of water.
Are you then able to take those fired projectiles and compare them to other projectiles provided to you by law enforcement?
Yes, creating known test fires allows me to compare unknown bullets and cartridge cases to, again, exemplars that I know to have been fired from a specific firearm.
Did you do that in this case?
Yes, I did.
Can you explain to the jury the process you take and what you do when you have this known test fire that you personally fired and you make an attempt to compare it to a projectile provided by law enforcement?
The first step in the examination of known test fires and the examination of evidence bullets and cartridge cases is to examine those items independently. The test fires were examined and compared to one another to determine reproducibility of the marks that are created during the firing process. Likewise, the evidence bullet is examined independently. It's examined for the presence of class characteristics, which we mentioned earlier, and then for the presence of individual characteristics. The purpose of this examination is to first determine, is it possible that a fired bullet or cartridge case was fired in an evidence firearm? If it is possible, then a microscopic comparison of individual characteristics is completed.
What kind of markings are left on a projectile after it's fired out of the gun?
The class characteristic markings that are left on a projectile as the result of firing would be the land and groove impressions. These are the helical grooves inside the barrel of a firearm that produce the spin to a bullet. Much like we throw a football with a spin, a bullet is fired with a spin. These helical grooves have a certain number, a certain direction, and a certain width. And those direction, width, and number will differ between firearms. These are the class characteristics, again, that are transferred to a bullet during the firing process. There are also individual characteristics that are transferred to a bullet during the firing process. These are called striations. They're resultant of the manufacturing process in that those helical grooves are cut by a tool into the barrel of a firearm. They're unique to that firearm in the sense that the tool wears during the firing process, and those striations also wear in the firearm.
Tool markings. It's BS. It's not true. It's total crapiola. And again, they didn't find any markings. So why are we listening to all of the technical stuff? Just say, I checked them. They didn't work.
As a result of its use, abuse, and wear over time.
I'm assuming when you test fired the gun and retrieve those projectiles from the water tank, they're in very good condition.
Yes, the purpose of firing into a water tank is to recover projectiles in a good condition.
Because they are in good condition, are you better able to see those individual markings left by the firearm on the projectile as it's fired?
Yes, a part of the early comparison process when looking at test fires compared to test fires for the purpose of determining whether or not there are reproducible marks on a fired bullet is that process that was mentioned is because they are in good condition, those marks are easier to compare to one another.
You also provided a projectile recovered from the skull of Michael Shaver.
Yes.
Showing you what's been introduced in evidence in Exhibit 20. Did you recognize that item first?
I'm sorry, I don't have gloves, so I don't want to remove the item from. Oh, sorry, they're right here.
And while you're doing that, you mentioned the test fires that you fired. Are those also contained in the package with the gun?
Yes, they are.
Because it takes forever.
Yes, I do.
How do you recognize that item?
Again, The packaging and the item are marked with a unique laboratory number, an item number, and my initials.
Did you examine that projectile recovered from the skull that you just looked at?
Yes, I did.
Can you describe to the jury what condition that projectile was in when you first looked at it?
The projectile was in very rough condition, both its shape and material that was surrounding the projectile upon its receipt.
Because of the condition of that projectile, and if you consider that projectile was located in the ground for some period of time, could that affect the markings left on that projectile by the firearm that fired it?
Yes, the condition can very much obscure the marks that are left on the projectile as the result of having been fired.
Despite the damaged condition of that projectile, were you able to determine the caliber of the projectile or caliber class of the projectile?
Yes, I was.
And what is meant by caliber or caliber class?
Caliber, again, can be the nominal or actual measurement of the diameter of a bullet. It can also be the measurement of a bullet that would fit down the barrel of a firearm. In this case, the caliber was determined to be 38 caliber class. That means it belongs to a family of calibers that are very similar, but there was not enough information in this case due to the damage of the bullet to determine an actual caliber. Therefore, it was determined that it belonged to the 38 caliber class or family of projectiles.
And what calibers are included in that 38 caliber class or 38 caliber family?
This is a 38, a 380, a 357, or a 9mm.
Did you examine that damaged projectile to determine whether or not it could have been fired from the firearm we looked at earlier, that pink and black Cobra revolver?
Yes. Again, going back to the early steps of a comparison, first we determine the class characteristics of a firearm and the class characteristics of a fired ammunition component. If the class characteristics of the two agree, then I can move forward to a comparison of the individual characteristics. In this case, the class characteristics present on the fired bullet and the class characteristics of the firearm agreed, allowing me to move forward to a comparison of individual characteristics.
And what do you mean by the class characteristics of the bullet agreed with the firearm itself? What are you talking about?
The class characteristics agreement would allow this projectile to have been fired in this particular firearm. That means that the caliber is the same. The number of lands and grooves, or those helical impressions, agree. Their direction of twist and their width are in agreement.
So the number of lands and grooves, the direction of the lands and grooves, and the width of the lands and grooves of that firearm is consistent with the fired bullet you looked at.
In addition to the caliber, yes.
Okay. So all that was agreed, all that was consistent.
Correct.
You then proceeded to do the individual examinations to look at those individual characteristics.
Yes.
Can you explain to the jury how that process worked?
An examination of individual characteristics is a microscopic comparison of the striations that are left on the surface of a bullet as the resultant of the firing process. In this particular case, the individual characteristics left on the test fires, which were compared to each other first, were not well defined, and it was a very difficult process. I did move forward to the comparison of the individual characteristics between the test fires and the evidence bullet. However, the result of this comparison was an inconclusive result. I could not determine whether or not this particular bullet was fired in this specific firearm.
So when you examined the test fires that were in pristine condition with each other, it was difficult to determine by your analysis that they were fired from the same firearm, am I right?
That is correct. This particular firearm simply did not leave well-defined individual characteristics on its test fires.
And then when you went to examine the actual...
Especially because she has no evidence of anything. She has nothing to do there. They don't have any murder weapon. Unaliving tool probably is better for YouTube. So it's a total waste of our time that she's droning on, and she has that perfect voice that'll put you to sleep. She should be in an abattoir talking to the cows. You wouldn't need to. They'll just fall asleep, and you can
Yeah.
cut the bacon off.
She sounds like she's just reading from a textbook.
Yeah. Imagine being her husband. Yes. Yes. Oh, that is the spot. Yes. Faster.
Bullet we looked at recovered from the skull to see if it was fired from that particular firearm. You couldn't make a comparison, correct?
That is true. The comparison was completed. However, the result of the comparison was an inconclusive conclusion.
So as you sit there now, you're not able to say scientifically whether that specific bullet was fired from that specific gun.
That is correct.
However, am I correct that all of the other characteristics of the gun and the bullet are consistent? You just can't say that that specific bullet was fired from that gun because of the lack of individual characteristics.
That is true. In fact, I cannot move forward to a comparison of individual characteristics if the class characteristics did not agree. Because all of the class characteristics between the firearm and the fired bullet were in agreement, I could move forward in the examination process.
Bottom line, the projectile could have been fired from that gun based on the consistency of all those different things we talked about, and you can't say scientifically if it actually was.
That's correct.
And one moment, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. I have no other questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Wiggs.
Then Mr. Buxman started off, and it was your testimony you had received a projectile from the medical examiner's office, correct?
The projectile is transferred to me from the evidence section of the laboratory.
Okay. So the projectile, let me just see if I'm summing this up correctly. The projectile that was in the body could not be linked up to the gun that you're sitting there holding, correct?
The comparison of individual characteristics was inconclusive, correct?
I know you spend a lot of time getting your worthless degree in something that you can only use in courtrooms because it's bunk science. Your answer wasn't the characteristic of the fired projectile was inconclusive, correct? No, the answer was yes. None of the bullets could be matched to any of the guns.
So that's a good summation, right? There was no connection between that gun there and the projectile that was delivered to you, correct?
The examination resulted in the conclusion that all class characteristics were in agreement.
Okay.
The result of the individual comparison was inconclusive.
Okay. How many guns fit into that class?
Thousands of guns, if not tens of thousands, correct?
So there's
He's actually doing a good job. That you can't use this for anything.
thousands of guns that fit into that class, and not one individual characteristic linked it to this homicide, correct?
The result of the individual characteristic comparison was inconclusive. I would not say not one. That would.
Correct. Then we were talking about double action, single action type firearms. Did you fire the projectile sample?
I was responsible for firing the test fires.
Okay. What's the poundage, the amount of force that's required on that gun to discharge a projectile?
The trigger pull on this firearm was not measured.
Okay. Any specific reason?
And that was not part of the policy or procedure for an examination of this type.
Did law enforcement ever contact you at any time and request it?
They did not.
State attorney's office ever contact you and request that?
The state attorney's office would not contact me directly.
Okay. When you have a double action pistol as well, you can pull the hammer back and lock it, correct?
Not in a double action only firearm, no.
Okay. Can you pull the hammer back, lock it, and then discharge it by the trigger?
In a double action only firearm, no.
Okay. Single action.
In a single action firearm, A hammer can be pulled back and locked into position.
Okay. And then it can be released by a separate trigger pull, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So once the hammer is locked back, does it require less force on the trigger? On that type of gun?
That is a question that could not be answered because the trigger pull of this double action only firearm was not measured. And I do not know the trigger pull of a single action. One could or could not be heavier than the other.
Anything prevent the child from firing that gun?
I would not be qualified to answer that question.
Okay. Well, you've been in the business how many years?
Approximately 15 years in firearms examination.
Okay. And you don't know anything about trigger pulls and capacities?
I don't know anything about a child pulling a trigger.
Okay. 1 second, guys.
Yes, sir.
I don't have any further questions. Thank you, Judge.
All right, redirect.
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
May the witness be released from her subpoena. Okay, thank you for testifying here today. You're released from further testimony. Have a good day.
That's the first really good cross-examination. He got into, you can't prove this pew-pew was used, and the trigger pull is important because they claim a kid did it.
Yeah.
But if they claim the trigger pull on this one is low, then they should claim this was the unaliving tool. That's a little weird.
All right, please be seated if you would. Thank you. Please state and spell your full legal name.
My name is Tara Mitchell, T-A-R-A, Mitchell, M-I-T-C-H-E-L-L.
Thank you. Please raise your right hand and I'll swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that any testimony you give today shall be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Can you please introduce yourself to the jury?
Good morning. I am Tara Mitchell.
What do you do for a living?
I currently work with mental behavior at Livestream.
Prior to that, where did you work?
I was the manager at Mariner Finance.
What did Mariner Finance do?
We did personal secured loans, secured and unsecured loans.
How long did you work there?
9 years.
What were your day-to-day duties when you worked at Mariner Financial?
To solicit and collect and distribute money to those that need.
I direct your attention back to November of 2015. Were you working at Mariner Financial in the same capacity then?
At that particular time, I was an assistant manager, senior assistant manager.
What duties did that involve, specifically as senior assistant manager?
Basically the same.
Understood. Did Mariner Financial extend a loan to Michael Shaver in November of 2015?
At that time, we had mailers that came out from the corporate office, and they were sent out to several different people in several different cities.
Can you explain to the jury kind of how that worked? Were they just kind of sent unsolicited to people's residences?
I'm not totally sure as to how corporate determined as to who they were going to send it to, but it would have something to do with their credit. And we call them LBMs, which is the loan by mail. And so they would send them out to different people.
So this is not a situation where somebody comes to your financial institution and says, hey, I need a loan. This is the financial institution reaching out to people to say, hey, I want a loan.
Absolutely. And it made it look really good because they gave you a certain amount and all it required you to do was fill out some information on the back.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would move into evidence State's Exhibit D as in dog, as State's Exhibit 29. There's a business record certification and notice has been provided.
Any objection? All right. All right, sidebar, please.
Sidebar number 10.
Oh,
We made it, my friends. Sidebar number 10. So that'll be rumor numeral X. That's predatory. Sending out a piece of paper saying, "Hey, just sign the back and you got a loan for $2,000. You don't have to apply for anything.
They
We
do that
looked
all
up
the
your
time.
credit score.
Yeah. That's why you get those stupid things in the mail. They're like, you're pre-approved.
Will be admitted into evidence of states number 29.
That's illegal in Denmark.
Using the process that you just described, was a loan extended to Michael Shaver via mail?
Yes, it was.
And how, in what form?
This is a lady from Mariner Finance who helps people in need, as she said. No, it's I can't say that because that'll be a legal determination. But in Denmark, I can tell you it's not legal to do what they're doing. Sending you a piece of paper saying, hey, you are pre-approved to borrow $2,000. Just sign this piece of paper because you don't know the capabilities of the buyer. Well, we checked their credit score. Yeah, but you don't know anything about their income or anything. You just want to get those rates in. So it's absolutely not predatory lending where you find people who might be in a vulnerable financial situation and offer them a little credit line so you can run up all the payments because people will say, well, it's $2,000, so it's fine. I would love to know what the in Denmark we call it OOP, the yearly fees on a loan like that is, because we had some that were 32% when you made figured everything into it.
Yeah, the interest rates are usually
Yeah.
pretty high on those ones.
Yeah, and 32% on a $2,000 loan. It'll make sure that you'll never pay off the $2,000. You'll just keep them in business, paying them interest. So that's illegal in Denmark, but it's fine. Capitalism, woo! You must spend money to get credit system is way better than ours. You must prove that you can save money before we'll lend you money.
Yeah, if
But-
you pay stuff with cash, if you go around paying cash for everything, you definitely don't get all the perks. Because I did, I've had somebody do that for a long time, and then they're like, well, you don't have any credit. Well, I pay everything off with cash. What do you want me to do?
Yeah. And that's what I hate about your system, because we have to, if we put a down payment on the house, we still have to prove that we can carry the monthly fees on the house. It's not just, well, you spent a ton of money the last 10 years, so we can give you another ton of money you can spend.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That loan have been extended.
Hey, Holly Mac.
A check was mailed directly to an address that was attached to his social. And that's all it would require for them to do is fill the information out on the back and submit
Yeah,
it
because they just wanted to write the
a bank
interest.
or deposit it.
So a check is sent to Michael Shaver's residence in.
She does seem nice. That's her job. She's the person you go into and talk to, and she say, "Oh, you want to borrow 1,500 to get a new bicycle?" Yes, we can do that. We do have this special. There's no interest on it in 6 months. It's just so you can get because when you get your new bicycle, you probably gonna need some new shoes and stuff like that, and then they'll smack you in the bottom with the interest after. That's her job. She's not well. She's working with mentally challenged people. It sounded like, but people in a bank who sit there and sell you a loan is just like that cashier at the gas station asking you want to have 2 Mars bars with that purchase. They are just there to sell you something you don't know, because they know in reality you should save your money for 5 months and buy the stuff instead of lending it from them and then paying it off over 2 years.
For
mail
sure.
basically is a loan check.
Yes.
Describe the process. How would somebody accept that loan or accept the money in that check when it was mailed to the person?
They would be required to sign it on the back, put their telephone number as to how they could be reached.
I'm going to show you what's introduced to State's Exhibit 30.
And do you recognize the check that I'm showing you?
Absolutely.
All right. And does the bank also maintain records of attempts to collect that money if that situation is needed?
Can you repeat that, please?
Sure. Does the bank, if say someone doesn't pay that loan back or misses payments, does the bank have a log to show the attempts the bank made to collect that money?
Absolutely. From the moment it is cashed, within 72 hours, we have to make contact with them.
And is that what these documents are contained in this Exhibit 630?
Absolutely.
Do you recognize them?
Absolutely.
Okay. Are they accurate?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you have good credit if you can get a pre-approved $2,000 loan? They didn't look like they lived a place where they had great credit.
I mean, they give that stuff goes out to a lot of different types of people, not necessarily.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get a lot of
I'm saying
offers.
The check that we just looked at. How much, and I'll give you the exhibit in case it's a little difficult for your angle. How much was the check for that was sent to Michael Shaver's residence?
$2,539.
And to what address was that check sent?
9850 Sandy Pines Road, Clearmont, Florida 34711.
When was that check mailed out to Michael Shaver's address?
It had to be mailed before 11/30/2015.
What was done with that check to signify that the loan was accepted by whoever filled out this information on the back of the check?
Because there are signatures on the back of the check and phone numbers listed with a date.
And what was the phone number listed on the back of the check?
352-431-5121.
Was there a date written on the back of the check signifying when it was accepted?
Absolutely.
What date was that?
12/11/15.
And would that information have been filled in by whoever received the check at the address?
Absolutely.
That's not information filled out by you or by the bank?
Oh, no.
Does the filling out of that information on the back of the check signify an acceptance of the loan?
Absolutely.
Did Michael Shaver have an account with Mariner Financial or anything?
Not until he cashed his check.
Okay. What were the terms of the repayment of this loan? For instance, if the loan was accepted, what would be the monthly payments to be made?
30 monthly payments of $122.89.
Were any of the monthly payments made in this case regarding this loan extended to Michael Shaver?
Absolutely not.
All right. Was there ever any personal or phone contact from Michael Shaver to the Mariner Financial Institution regarding the repayment of this loan?
Absolutely not.
What was done to try to reach Michael Shaver from Mariner Financial to get this loan paid off?
We first did solicitation calls to have him to come in, but we never made contact. And after 30 days being delinquent, it goes into collections, and we start collection calls on a daily basis.
What do you mean by a solicitation call was made?
When LBMs, the loans by mails, are sent out, there's really no real contact with the customer other than what is written on the back of the check. So to make it more of a personal, we solicited an extra $500 for coming into the bank and signing up to come over onto a Mariner paper, where so we're able to have better access and know a little bit more about the client.
Okay, so you reach out to the person who accepted the loan and say, hey, why don't you come on into our bank?
According to the number that they put on the back of the check.
Okay. When is that done in relation to the acceptance of the loan and you getting information that the loan has been accepted?
Within 24 to 72 hours, we're notified that a check has been cashed. So it automatically appears in our system of new loan by mails. And
that when you reach out for these solicitations, say, hey, come into our bank?
That is correct.
Was that done in this case?
Absolutely.
Was any response received by the bank from Michael Shaver?
There were no answering of the phone calls.
When the time for the first payment came due, you had already indicated that no payment was made. What did the bank do, or you do, to try to make contact with Michael Shaver?
We started reaching out with the number that was on the back. We will use free websites where we can look up to try to find if there's any other numbers that's attached to the name.
Did the bank continue to try to reach out to Michael Shaver for a lengthy period of time?
Oh, absolutely. It doesn't charge off until 180 days.
What do you mean by charge off?
We have no payments. So unfortunately,
The bank has to eat it.
yes,
Okay. Let me direct your attention specifically to February 17, 2015. Did you specifically try to call the number listed on the back of the check?
I did.
And what happened when you did that?
A female answered the phone and stated she had just gotten that particular phone that Friday before.
Basically indicating I don't know what you're talking about. This is the wrong number.
Absolutely.
Did you have any personal knowledge as far as who you were speaking with?
I had no idea.
Was the loan eventually turned over to collections when payments weren't made?
We keep it up to, yes, it was.
Within the Mariner financial system, it was turned over to a different firm.
At that time, after 180, it goes to a higher level.
Did anyone by the name of Laurie Shaver ever contact Mariner Financial about this loan?
No.
If that would have happened, would there have been notes in your?
Absolutely.
Did you eventually speak with a Sergeant Tammy Dale from the Lake County Sheriff's Office?
Yes, I did.
Once you spoke with Sergeant Dale, what was ultimately done with this loan?
It eventually charged off.
Meaning the bank?
The bank, we could no longer do any more collections on it because in our local level.
Thank you, ma'am.
Riggs?
Why?
Did law enforcement take that check from you?
No,
one
the check
knows.
is given to the bank.
Okay, but I mean, did law enforcement get a copy of that check?
We do have access to it.
Well, I didn't ask if they have access to it. Did they come by and request a copy of the check?
I cannot determine at this particular time if they requested it at that time or not.
What?
You don't know that fact, right? And do you have any video of who entered the bank, who said that you can't have or anything like that?
Because it's a loan by mail, they never enter our office.
So nobody can get into the bank to your personal knowledge, correct?
That is absolutely correct.
Okay. Do you know if law enforcement ever took a copy of the check to do any kind of handwriting analysis?
That's beyond my knowledge.
Thank you.
All right, any redirect?
No, Your Honor, she can be excused.
All right, thank you for appearing today. You're excused from further testimony. Have a good day.
Well,
Thank you.
a whole lot of nothing other than she got it back. Maybe.
Yes, sir. So we'll take a 5-minute comfort break.
What date was this though?
This was after his disappearance.
Okay.
Court is on a short break. November 3rd. Yeah, she said November 30th, which would be three weeks after he disappeared.
Okay.
So and was sent back in, I believe, the middle of December with his social security number on it. That's why they identified it, because it was just a chicken scratch. No, you haven't missed anything. It's a lot of I didn't like that tool mark woman. I did all of this and I did all of that, and did you find any conclusive evidence? Nope. Well, see you later. So yeah. I can understand that you can feel it's necessary to do those loans, but that's a big problem. That because you're desperate, they can they can't tax you, but they can put the interest rate that high, because sometimes you'll just get behind and then it'll stack all of the expenses. That's why the best thing you can do is save for what you need, or go through a bank, because they have to have a fixed rate. All of these companies, that's a big problem.
They do, but that's how they get you, because it's fast, it's easy, and usually
the
when
bank
you're
is
looking
stupid
at
because
something
I
like that,
really-
it's a time
I-
crunch. You're like, I need it now, and they are quick to give it
Yeah,
to
because I really need that jet ski from Timo.
you. Well, no, sometimes it happens to people when like your water, tank like bursts or something, and you need like $500 like right now.
Yeah, but the problem is those
That's what
$500 will be 5,000 before you're done paying them.
Yeah, I mean that's what happens to most people.
And
That's why
if you had
people
talked to your
get-
bank, it would be $750.
Mhm. Or your bank might be like, nah, you don't really have the best credit, but then this company comes in and they're like, well, we'll still take you. We'll
Yeah,
just charge you like 40% interest. And you're
yeah.
like
It's
desperate, so
kind of
you need it.
like in the Corey Richards case with all of those debts. What did I calculate her debt or her interest to be? 37%, I believe, in some of the payments. That's a lot of money, especially when it's a 1-year deal or a 6-month deal, because then you'll get all the late fees on it as well.
Heck yeah.
What? Just sounded like someone was pew-pewing outside. They can't do that. That's illegal in Denmark. I wonder if the so-called Toolmark woman, if they called Toolmark woman, so the defense can't claim that if Toolmark testing was done, it was conclusively proved that none of her pew-pews was unaliving. Yes, but I don't like that because what they did was take the long way round. And they could just have said, you tested all the pew-pews and none of them showed anything that would suggest they were used. No. They muddled it up. So she was talking about how she did it and how you do the testing. And then it was inconclusive. I know that's the fancy word for I couldn't find anything. But it's another way to try and sneak it into the jury that, oh, it's just inconclusive. It could have been it. It could have been it. That's why I think that's the only good cross-examination he have done so far. There could have been thousands like it. So there's because, oh, she had multiple 38s. Yeah. But in the state of Florida, there's probably millions of them. And it could be almost each one of those who. Oh, that's a close-up of a man's hair. It could be anyone coming off that factory
What are
line.
you doing?
I have the other. It was just some guy walked in front of the camera. And I thought, what the F is that? But it was his hair. So. There are usury caps on rates for most lenders. Yeah, legitimate lenders, but you can always find fast money. And it's the fast money that's the problem.
Yeah, we'll get you.
Because again, I love that idea that those predatory lenders will unalive you. No, they'll just knock you up a bit, but they'll still make you get them the money. That's kind of the thing that they can't use you if you are not here anymore. They need you to keep paying all of the interest.
For sure.
What happened to daughter? Which daughter? In this case, she's with mom, I believe.
Yeah.
They will mass lend on payday loans, one on top of another until it's impossible to pay. Yeah. And if you don't have a good financial literacy, it's actually, and I believe you do it in America too. We have the debate in Denmark. Should we teach kids to do a budget?
I think stuff like that should be taught in school big time.
It's one of the biggest problems many kids have when they get out of school is, or get their first job. Oh, I got money. Yeah, but you have to remember to pay your taxes. No, I got $100. Yeah, but the government owns 30 of those. No, it's my money. I have them right here in my hand. And then next month, oh, I got money. Yeah, but you have to pay taxman. He owes 30%, $30 of that. No, I have it right in my hand. And they don't save anything. End of the year, they owe the taxman $360, and they don't have no bucks because no one told them there's taxes to pay. There's all of these things that you should remember to pay off. No, I got $100. No, that's just before they screw you.
So true.
No, I have absolutely asked any of my mods who are talking about me about cases and stuff like that. I do have a calendar over here, but my life is absolutely in no way. I'm messy. I don't have ADHD or something like that, but all the scrolls is running around in my brain. I don't. I have a calendar. I write stuff on to remember it. I'll forget it. I have a massage in 2 days, and I had to put it in my phone so I remember I have to be there. So yeah. Baker's budgeting. That's why Jamie tomorrow at noon will make the show Beauty on a Budget, and Friday it'll be food on a budget. Saturday it'll be car buying on a budget. All of it will be Jamie. Jamie is my financial expert because she said, "Send me all the money YouTube pay you," and I say, "Okay." And last year she said there was a hiccup with my tax payment, so I had to do that out of my own pocket. But this year she promised me she'll fix it, so I don't get all of those back taxes.
Yeah.
No, 5-minute break. 5-minute break in this courtroom means at least 15 minutes. What time is it?
That's why I started finding things like cheap dupes of things, and like it works just fine. Because
Yeah.
I mean, if you had the money to spend on the high priced items, good for you. Not me. But a lot of that stuff is just as good.
They just informed camera person that they will allow audio of Isabel when she testified, but no camera view on her. They will keep the camera on Laurie tomorrow.
Yeah, because they're supposed to like.
Oh yeah, she's testifying tomorrow. Yeah, she's testifying for the defense.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Well, that's
Brandy.
good. Cool. At least we get to hear it.
Yeah, not like in the Karen Reed case where everything was thrown out.
Yeah. That's annoying.
But again, she's 15 now. That's such a.
Well, it's the same thing with like Zachary Anderson. We got to hear.
No, we got
daughter.
to see her.
No, we didn't get to see her.
We did see her.
No, she wasn't on camera.
It was. I have a clear memory of her looking at her mom. Yeah, because she was 16.
No, she was 15.
Jamie, what do you call a meme that provokes intense happiness? A dopamine.
Oh boy.
In your senior year in high school, we were required to take business math, which taught us budgeting and how to track income and expense. Yeah, and everyone should do that. When I started to get like a super chat like that, I have to. When I get my payments, I have to put it into
all the members of the jury have returned.
a schedule. So I haven't done a budget since, or a business budget since I was an apprentice. Really hard. I'm trying to get an accountant to help me. He never called me back, and that was last week. I should just move to the Americas. Then Brandon can do my taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the nice thing. I have that Luna bank. I have it on my phone. Can always follow what you're using your money for. Come on. Move along.
Good morning. Please come up to the witness stand. Please be seated. Make yourself comfortable. Let me know when you're ready to proceed. Please state and spell your full legal name.
My name is Vanessa Townsend, Vanessa
Oh, it's Jay's husband.
Townsend.
Please raise your right hand and I'll
It's
swear
his
you in.
tattoo.
You solemnly swear or affirm that any testimony you give today shall be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Good morning. Can you please introduce yourself to the jury?
I'm Vanessa Townsend.
And do you know Jeremy Townsend?
I do.
How do you know?
He's my husband.
When did you get married?
April 12th, 2008.
And do you have children together?
We do.
How many?
One,
How old is your child?
14.
And in 2016, where were you working?
Pine Ridge Elementary.
And what was your position there?
A teacher.
Did you work there the whole school year, 2015 to 2016?
Correct.
And in 2016, while you were at work, did you receive an unexpected delivery?
I did.
And what was that delivery?
Sidebar, please.
Oh, it's been a long time since the last sidebar, Jamie. We needed a good sidebar.
Yeah. No, this is Townsend. This is Jeremy. The wife.
This is the lady. This is Funbox boyfriend's wife. The one she sent all the social media posts to. The one she sent flowers in Michael's name with, but from her account. She's the one whose husband was while he was married to her, and Laurie had her fun box decorated.
Please proceed.
Ms. Townsend, did you receive an unexpected delivery?
I did.
And what was that delivery?
Flowers.
And did those flowers come with a card?
They did.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes, sir.
Showing what the defense has been previously been marked as State's Exhibit T.
Could I file a motion with respect to this? If we approach,
Please approach.
Sidebar 12. Boing. The more sidebars, she has a heart above her fun box with J tattooed in it.
Yeah.
Ray. J. J on the vet, JJ. Yeah, it's J. His name is J.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure Laurie's never was close that long. Because she wanted her boyfriend to break up with his wife, so she sent the wife a lot of messages on Facebook saying, your husband is cheating with my wife, but it was her who did it, but in Michael's name. So she sent her flowers to say, please go home and check your social media. It's a little complicated, but when you get into it, just remember, tattoo on the JJ with the name J. That's his wife. Laurie wanted to ruin that marriage as well, but didn't.
I'm showing you what's been previously marked by identification as State's Exhibit T. I'm going to go ahead and just ask that you cut along the top here and just take a look at the card that is inside. Without showing it to the jury, you just go ahead and look at it.
Sorry.
That's okay.
In the envelope.
Yep, you can pull that.
Oh. Sorry.
Sure. And go ahead and open
that the card received with the flowers?
It is.
And is that in the same or substantially same condition as when you received that?
It is.
And after receiving that, did you eventually turn this over to law enforcement?
I did.
Your Honor, at this time, the state will move State's Exhibit T into evidence as State's number 30.
Same objection, sir.
All right, objections overruled. States T will be entered into evidence as states number 30.
Now, did that, the card that came with those flowers, did that include a message?
It did.
And can you go ahead and read that message to the jury, please?
Great.
That's okay. Ms. Townsend, is this a difficult day for you?
It is.
No.
It says, roses are red, violets are blue. My wife is a whore. Your husband is too. Sorry about this.
Oh my
Check your Facebook message. We need to talk, Mike.
Now, up until this.
What a D-bag.
Had you ever had any interactions with this
She
or
just
Mike
called
or
herself
Michael
that.
Shaver?
No.
Up until this point, had you noticed any messages from a Facebook profile identified as Michael Shaver prior to receiving those flowers?
No.
Up until this point, did you have any knowledge or that your husband was potentially having an affair?
No.
When did you receive that card and those flowers?
In April 11th, 2016.
In the time frame leading up to you receiving those flowers, was there ever any time that your husband was sleeping anywhere other than the home, which would have given you concerns that he was having some sort of extramarital affair?
Sleeping elsewhere?
Yes.
No.
So you always came home at night, he was always around.
Yes.
Now, after you received that card, did you in fact did you have a Facebook profile at that point?
I did.
And after receiving that card and that message, did you go onto your Facebook profile and realize that there had been either a friend request or some sort of messages from Michael Shaver's Facebook account?
I did.
And once you saw that request had come in and those messages had come in, what did you do specifically as it relates to Facebook?
I contacted the person back.
Did you accept this friend request to be able to look at these messages?
I did.
And did you go through the messages that had been sent to you up until the point that you had received those flowers?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and show defense State's Exhibit EE.
Thank you. Just be quiet. Thank you.
All right, sidebar?
Yes, sir.
Come on up.
We know when it's a witness that hurts him because then he goes into full sidebar mode.
Yeah.
Jamie, have you
What a
voted
great
in the
poem.
poll?
What a great poem. What'd you say?
Have you voted in the poll? No, it's the puss puss.
Yes.
That's what I'm meaning.
Yes.
Yeah, it's never fun. And the worst part, she's still with that guy.
Yeah.
He took him back. Ladies, let me tell you a thing my buddy's grandpa told him about women.
Okay.
Something like that, Mr. Parkinson. He said,
Archie,
the way you
Archie
win
didn't
him
like that.
is the way you lose him again. So if you snatch them off the hands of another guy, she'll probably be snatched off your hands by another guy. So don't take him back.
Well, if it's that easy to go stray, I don't think he's gonna do it again.
She didn't know he was being so intimate that someone needed the fun box decorated with another woman. So he strayed once. He knows the barn door is open at night, and he'll just run out. It's just like Ralphie's donkeys. If she doesn't close that barn door, they'll go looking for trouble.
You recognize that thumb drive?
I do.
And what does that thumb drive contain?
The messages from the Facebook account.
And did that contain all the messages that you received from Michael Shaver's Facebook account, including any still screenshots?
Well, I could trust a married man not to do it.
Facebook messages we're
if
referring
he's
to
just
here,
once
along with photographs that may have been
in
sent.
court cheating.
Yes, to my knowledge.
And how do you recognize that is what is contained on that thumb drive?
I dated and initialed it.
And you reviewed that information before doing so?
Correct.
Your Honor, at this time, the statement states EE into evidence, and I believe number 31.
Yes, sir. Objection is overruled. States EE will be admitted into evidence of states number 31.
Now, I want to start with the actual Facebook messages you received from Michael Shaver's account, showing defense states FF.
Judge, same objection.
Yes, sir.
That's all I is.
Yes, sir. All right. The objection is overruled.
Showing you as the previously marked the states FF. Go ahead and look at those documents.
Maybe it's because she thinks, oh, he has broken. She fixed him, so I don't have to take care of the stains on the toilet seat and the socks on the floor. We'll change right back when we get out of a relationship.
What are those documents?
The messages I received through Facebook account.
And are those the Facebook messages that we just started talking about?
I'll go next
that you
to
received after that you went back and looked at after the flowers and any future Facebook messages from that same account?
Correct.
And those are actually also contained on the thumb drive that we just talked about. This is just a printed out version of that.
Correct.
You're on this time, the statement states FF into evidence as states exhibit number 32.
Over defense objection, states FF will be admitted into evidence of states number 32.
Now I'm going to go ahead and start publishing some of these. Now, on page, looking at the blue numbers on top, page 2447, is that where the first message that you would have received from the Michael Shaver Facebook account?
That's correct.
And first of all, what was the date of that message?
February 25th, 2016.
And what was the content of that message?
Hello, Vanessa. I know you don't know me, but I keep sending you a friend request because I really need to talk with you about something important. I am not a creep, I promise. I'm looking to confirm some information concerning my wife.
Now, moving on into page 2446, are there messages, and 2447, we'll start on page 2447. Did you receive any sort of follow-up message there on April 5th of 2016? So the message would be on the top of page 2447. The date would be on page 2446.
I don't see 2447. I'm sorry.
Oh, I apologize.
Sorry.
Looking at the message there from April 5th, what is that statement?
So April 5th, 2016, it says, I don't think you are seeing my messages. I just sent you something. Hope you contact me when you receive.
Vices Raiders.
And moving on to the preceding page.
Hey, guys.
The next page.
Is there a message then from April 9th, 2016?
Yes.
April 9th, 2016, please contact me at 352-801-0941.
And what is the next message that you receive after getting that phone number?
April 11th, 2016,
And what is that message?
I received multiple. It says your special delivery is to arrive today. Hope to finally hear back from you.
All right. Now, the special delivery message, was that close in time to when you received the flowers?
That is.
Is that same day?
It is.
Now, you can put that down for just a moment. After you accepted the friend request, did you start communicating with this Facebook profile identified as Michael Shaver?
I did.
And in the course of that, did you receive any sort of screenshots of text messages between your husband and Laurie Shaver?
I did.
Did you also receive photographs that showed your husband with Miss Shaver?
I did.
The phone number that was associated with, that was placed in that Facebook record, did you reach out and contact that individual?
I did.
And how did you do so?
I tried to call it.
Did that person ever answer the phone?
No.
So after asking you to call, they never picked up?
Correct. They texted me back.
And were you ever able to talk on the phone with the person that had given you that phone number?
No.
And what was that phone number again?
Can I look?
Yes.
352.
I'm showing you has previously been marked as State's Exhibit GG for identification.
They muted the phone number to not dox anyone. That's nice.
Oh.
Yeah, she doesn't look happy. Remember, everyone, this is the lady who got a bouquet of flowers saying, check your social messages. And
No, what did it say?
What did it say, Jamie?
The poem.
What was the poem, Jamie? We got some people in over from Legal Vices. Tell them the poem.
Was it roses are red, violets are blue, my wife's a whore, and your husband is too?
Yes, that's the poem. And check your social media. It's probably not good. And again, she has to relive all of that again. And remember, he's still back on the couch tonight, which is a stupid thing.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Dildy. Oh, yeah, and she has to look at Laurie, who has her husband's nickname tattooed right above the fun box.
You recognize State's GGs.
Not the hope.
I do.
And what is State's GG?
Text message.
And is that the text message that you reached out or received back from that phone number you just stated?
That's the one I received back.
At this time, the state moves State's GG into evidence as, I believe, number 32?
33.
33.
Says objection, Judge.
Objection is overruled. State's GG will be admitted into evidence as state's number 33.
Now, also during the period of time that this was going on, did you obtain Laurie Shaver's phone number?
I did.
And did you reach out and send a text to them?
No. Okay, Matt, you haven't been here that much. I have to draw this because this gets a little complicated. This is Laurie. Laurie has a tattoo that says J near her vajayjay. This woman, I can't even remember her first name. We call her X. She has a husband named Jay. That's why Laurie has a vajayjay heart tattoo. And then there's Michael. He used to be alive and married to Laurie. He disappeared. She hooked up with Jay, and Jay was married to X. At some point, some person claiming to be Michael contacted X and said, "Your husband and my wife are sleeping together." And what we will find out is Michael in reality was Laurie, who contacted her to make sure that Jay would be kicked out so Jay could get over here so she didn't waste that puss tattoo. But this woman is stupid, so she took him back and said, "Oh, it's fine." So now Laurie is married to, I can't remember his first
Travis.
name. Travis, yeah.
Who's a different guy. Completely different guy.
Who wasn't in the picture. But Travis is the guy who built a fire pit over the body of Michael. Jay is also the guy that Laurie claims killed Michael and buried him under the fire pit where Travis built. It's a very not complicated case, this case.
I did.
Did you correspond with Ms. Shaver through that phone?
I texted, but I never received a message back.
I am showing what's previously been marked for identification as states RRR.
Well, you haven't been married then if you think you get to see that part that often.
Well, Laurie seemed to love giving it up, so it's fine.
How did you get Laurie Shaver's phone number?
Thank you.
Was it included in the screenshots of the text messages that you received?
I don't remember if it was text message or Facebook, but it was given to me through one of those two.
I'm showing you what's been previously been marked for identification of state RRR. You recognize that?
Yes, I do.
And is that a screenshot of text that you sent to Laurie Shaver's phone?
That's correct.
At this time, the state moves states RRR into evidence in states number 34.
Any objection? All right, over defense's objection, states RRR will be admitted into evidence of states number 34.
During the time frame that you were corresponding with the individual utilizing the Michael Shaver Facebook account, did they encourage you to get a divorce?
Yes, they did.
Did they make any offers to you in relation to that?
I don't know what you mean offers. I'm sorry.
Did they bring up matters of a divorce attorney?
Yes, they did. They recommended one.
Oh my God. So she got
Now, ultimately,
Laurie.
When you got this information,
He offered her a good divorce lawyer.
Sure, she's just like, you should really kick this guy to the curb. Here's a couple divorce lawyers.
Do you know how bad a guy he is? I'm banging him on the regular. Try this divorce lawyer. It didn't work for me. I had to pew my husband, but the other one, yeah, I'm keeping him. So get a divorce lawyer.
Just so crazy.
and did you confront your husband about it?
I did.
And at that time, did you both decide to stay together, married, and in the relationship?
We did.
And when did that process and that period of time begin?
For the end of April, May.
Roughly
And
5-6
after
months
that period of time,
before that.
Was there ever instances where Mr. Townsend left unknown
Well, his
was out of
nickname.
places that you weren't aware during that time frame?
No.
No further questions at this time.
All right, Mr. Wiggs,
I don't have any questions. Thank you, Judge.
okay, may the witness be released from her subpoena.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for appearing today.
Oh,
You're released from
no
further
question.
testimony. Have a good day. Yes, ma'am. Your next witness. Maybe how much time do you anticipate? 45 minutes? We'll break for lunch now then. Okay.
Oh, lunchtime, Jamie.
All right, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this will be a good time to break for lunch. It's almost 11:45. Please return to the jury assembly room by 1 o'clock. Okay? All right. Thank you for your time and attention. I'll see you at 1 p.m.
1 p.m.
So what did we learn this morning?
They
Court is on
couldn't
lunch
tell-
until 1:15.
They couldn't tell what pew was fired, right?
Well, let's
one
go
they-
all the way back. Let's go back
Okay.
to the very beginning. We learned that she had done the same to Travis's family as they
Oh.
claim she did to Michael's family by pushing them out of her man's life. And Travis wasn't married to her. They were in a union under God. And everything they said was taken out of context in other police interviews. It wasn't true, any of it. He didn't change his story. It is just not right what the police had noted down. She tried to sell a few pews. The neighbor had
Pretty much
smelled
all of them.
something. Yes, well, I said a few, but I don't know how many she did have, but she did everything from handguns to long rifles. She
Yeah.
tried to get rid of. The neighbor had smelled something funny, which reminded her of previously when she smelled a cow carcass. They tried to infer that she didn't know what happened over there, but we saw from Brandy a picture showing us she had direct view of the house. A loan was obtained, but they don't know by who. It was an illegible John Hancock, and but his social security number was on it, and there was never paid any money on the loan. And then we know tool markings didn't show any of the pews were the pew in question. So did we lose any? Yeah, and then we had this lady talking about getting the flowers.
Yeah. And then
I
the
think that's
wife
yeah.
getting the messages. And that was like when so he was long gone. So Noah's story.
No, I haven't seen that the state has. I did the motions yesterday, but not the state's reply, because that wasn't ready to go. At least not sent to me. Is it working today, or are we pulling the stream off?
I hope so.
Yeah. So Sue doesn't have to get angry at me. Expo? Nope. Not working again today.
Why is
That's
it not
all.
working?
I don't know, Jamie. If I knew, I would make it work.
Well, I think you're doing something wrong.
Yeah. Have you tried to turn it on and
Have you tried to
again?
restart? Yeah.
Yeah. We will be back. I'm going to set up a stream. We will be back at 1. Court should be back at 1:15. So we'll come back. Bring all your
1.
friends. And
Yeah.
we'll be back at 1. Court should go at 1:15.
Yeah,
Bring all your
yeah.
friends. You're talking all the time, saying something I can't hear when I'm talking, Jamie. Baker, stop squinting and get some glasses. I can't. I can't wear glasses in here. And I do have glasses, but it's just I have a ring light right there, so you'll just see 2 light circles in my eyes. So that wouldn't be good. So, but if you're not already, please follow on the Twitch chat or the Discord, as we put out updates when we go live there. YouTube doesn't always do that. She has an affair with that woman's husband, kills her own husband, and then pretends to be him on Facebook in order to torment the wrong woman. That's really sick. No, she's not tormenting him. She just wanted her to get divorced from the husband so she could take him.
Yeah.
It was a good thing. We'll be back at 7 o'clock. Well, if you're in England, 6 o'clock. It's set to go off at 1:15 Eastern Standard Time. My baby blues. Jamie, I have to make some dinner. I have to set up a stream. Everyone, we'll see each other in roughly an hour.
Okay, bye.
Bye. I have to find my outro. There it is.
What exhibit are you referring to? I'm going to make this 100, Your Honor. All right. 100.
100.
Because it is 100%
100%.
correct.
Objection, Your Honor. So you literally built a cannon?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Go
All right, I'm in love.
back. Please do that again. Oh, that was the cutest thing I've ever seen.
While I'm waiting for this, did you, whether it's true or not, believe that Mr. Randolph had slept with your wife?
I wouldn't have cared.
You wouldn't have cared?
No.
Did you believe he had slept with your wife?
No.
Did you believe he slept with your mother-in-law?
Probably did. Everybody has.
So there.
Everybody has.
Sorry, I'm just setting it up so I can redirect to my own stream, so you know it's already there. Day 3, part 2. And then I'm off. Hola.